And there's a good strikeout pitch, primarily a curveballer. De Jesus steps in, wide up, and the first pitch swung out, a fly ball to Marino. Trots back a few steps in center field. He's there, reaches up, and hauls it in deep straightaway center field. To De Jesus. Normally you'll see a leadoff man will take a few figures, but he went right after the first one.
That surprised me because I don't believe that he's faced Blyleven before. And I was anxious to see him, and talking all about curveballs, he started him off with a good fastball.
Yeah, and he went right after it. Maybe he wanted that fastball and figured before he went into the batter's box, if that's what Blyleven's going to start him out with, he was going to hammer it. Ray Gross steps in. Marino in center goes way over to left center field for the left-handed hitting center fielder of the Cubs. First pitch of fastball is low. Ball one. Gross, of course, did not play yesterday. Klein started in center field. Blyleven winds. Another fastball. Letter high strike. He's thrown 3 fastballs so far. And on Gross, the count is ball 1, strike 1 with 1 out. Just gotten underway. Right-hander delivers. Took a little off of that, turned it over, missed outside, ball 2, strike 1. Joe Malpatano coaching at third. And Cookie Rojas in the coach's box at first base. Here's the 2-1 delivery. Swung on. Chops one to the third base side of the plate in foul territory, grabbed by Ed Ott. So it is 2-2 on Gross. Of all the candidates for the Cubs center field job, Gross appeared to have wrapped it up when we left spring training. But at least at the outset of this season, Herman Franks wants to do some platooning. That's certainly understandable. But with the right-hander going today, Gross got for the nod. Give him the right field line. Do not claim to pull. Here's the pitch. Goes after an outside delivery. Drives a foul ball down into the vacant dark red seats way down the left field line. As it bounces out of the reach of a spectator, goes into the Pirate bullpen located down there. 2-2 count. Milner in left field guards the line against Gross to swing late. Stargell about 15 feet off the line at first, and a fastball low. Ball 3, strike 2. See if Gross can get on, and maybe the Cubs can get on the board. 3-2 pitch. Fastball again. Swung on at a high pop-up to Gonzalez, the third baseman. Backs up. Backpedals, and at the last moment is to reach behind him with the gloved hand to grab the ball just in front of Taveras, who had come over to back him up on it. Barely inside the line. Here's Bill Buckner. Struck out a couple of times yesterday. Went hitless in the first game of the season. The left-hander all day yesterday. John Candelaria drew nothing but praise from the Cubs for his fine work on the hill. Blyleven delivers, and he misses outside, ball 1. We've not seen yet that highly rated curveball of his. Works quickly. Here's the delivery. And that's high, ball 2. Keeping it away from Buckner. He pitched 235 innings for the Texas Rangers last year. 2-0 pitch, ball low and inside, 3-0. And in those innings, he gave up only 181 base hits in 235 innings. He struck out 182 men, 3-0 pitch. There's a strike called at the knees in the inside corner, and the count on Buckner. Ball 3, strike 1. Marino playing him almost straight away, just a step over into left center field. 3-1 delivery. Fastball swung on at a high fly ball. All looking forward is Milner coming over into left center. He's under it. Reaches up and grabs it one-handed. The Cubs go down in order. And Bert Blyleven draws some applause from the appreciative Pirate fans as they see him for the first time. Out to the mound for the Cubs goes number 34, Ray Burris. He'll face Taveras, Marino, and Parker after half inning. No score. 1st of October, wound up a loser. That was his 16th loss of the season against 14 victories. As a matter of fact, in his lifetime, he has only 1 victory over Pittsburgh and has suffered 5 defeats at the hands of the Bucs. Let's see if he can turn it around today. Chuck Tanner's 2 lieutenants in the bases. Usual, Al Monchek at first and Joe Lonette at third. Plate umpire, Nick Colosi. Frank Pulley umpiring at first base. Jimmy West at second, and John Kibler working at third. Kibler, the senior member of this umpiring crew. shortstop, scored the game's only run yesterday. He was 1 for 4, a slightly built right-hander with tremendous speed. Ray gets a sign to wind up the pitch, and Taveras swings at a soft liner in front of Trillo. He grabs it in the carpet, throws over to Buckner, and Taveras is out of there. And again, the leadoff man, who goes after the first pitch.
Well, when a leadoff man or any hitter does that, he's guessing for one pitch. If he has it, gets it, he's going to swing at the ball. Looked like Taveras was fooled. He hit that ball right on the end of his bat.
Yeah. So the center fielder, Omar Moreno, steps in. He laid down a beautiful bunt yesterday to get Taveras into scoring position. Officially, Moreno was 0 for 3. Ray's pitch, a fastball, a little bit low and inside for ball 1. Taveras up close at third base. In the event, Moreno, very, very quick, should lay one down. Ray steps back, winds. Here's the delivery, and Moreno checks his swing on a breaking ball, a little bit low, ball 2. Sorry to hear about the bad weather in Chicago today, but the White Sox are going to try to make it 2 in a row over Boston anyway at Sox Park this afternoon, and we wish them well. Francisco Barrios, the starting pitcher in that one for the Sox today, and a ball low and inside. He missed with a fastball. 3-0 now. For Boston today, Dennis Eckersley. 3-0 delivery. Moreno's going to take. Ball 4, too low. You'll have to keep an eye on him. He had 53 stolen bases last year. Moreno did. 53. In the batter's box, National League batting champion of a year ago, Dave Parker, big left-hander who wound up hitting .338. He was 1 for 3 yesterday, a double just inside the right field line. And he hit another shot right in the nose on which Murcer went back and made a very fine one-handed catch. Rito, big lead at first. Doesn't go. They call for a pitch out, and he was not going. Ball 1. George Foster off to a roaring start. Homered yesterday for the Reds, and he has hit one this afternoon against Andahar of the Houston Astros, and Cincinnati is leading Houston 2-1 in the bottom of the third. Rito fakes going. There's a swing and a deep drive. Close back in center field is there. And he makes the catch in deep straightaway center field. Hustles a throw into De Jesus, and Moreno gets on back to first base.
Well, Vince, now it becomes a guessing game with Rader, Burris, and Moreno with 2 outs. Milner at bat, left-handed hitter to protect the base runner from that catcher. So now Burris and Rader has to be alive.
He has a short lead at the moment, has not yet extended it onto the carpet. Milner, first game for the Pirates. Spent his career with the New York Mets. First pitch a ball away, Moreno not going. Came to them with Blyleven in December, and the key man the Pirates sent was fine outfielder Al Oliver. Turn and a lob toss over to first base, Moreno diving in safely. Also sent a minor league infielder, Nelson Norman, to the Rangers in that deal. Now he's extended his lead, and he goes. Here's the pitch, and Rader drops the ball. He was anxious. Rader was, as Moreno had a big lead and got a perfect jump on Burris. So there's no throw, and Moreno has his first stolen base of the year. Now he's in scoring position. The pitch was low. It's ball 2 on Milner. 12 homers for the Mets last year, the season in which he was out of the lineup rather frequently because of a series of injuries. He takes that one low, ball 3. Another left-hander and a dangerous hitter, Willie Stargell, number 8. Swinging a weighted bat in the on-deck circle over on the first base side. 3-0 delivery with a runner at second, no score, 2-way. Fastball. Off the outside corner, 3-1, and he was taken. The Dodgers at Atlanta have finished 3 innings with Los Angeles leading the Braves 1-0. Tommy John against Vic Ruthven. The Dodgers had 13 runs to spoil the Atlanta home opener yesterday. 3-1 pitch. Low, ball 4. The second walk in the inning. Let's pause for station identification. This is the
Affiliate 4, WGN Radio, Chicago.
Good hand, of course, for Stargell. Great veteran. 37 years of age. Drove in the only run yesterday. A fielder's choice in which the Cubs could not get the double play because of a fine move by Bill Robinson, who was on at first base and broke up a possible double play. First pitch to Stargell, a strike. 401 home runs in his career, all with the Pirates. The look at second, Marino the runner, Burris' pitch. Breaks low. Ball one, strike one. Went out with some friends of his here last night who live in Pittsburgh, and he said I had a great soul food dinner. Too bad the whole club wasn't with me. He wheels and throws to Jesus. Almost got Marino. Fine pickoff attempt. Ball one, strike one. Stretch, the kick, the pitch. Stargell swings, hits one back at first. Buckner on his knees, knocks it down, gets up, comes up the line for the unassisted put out on Stargell, and the Cubs are out of trouble in the first inning. Stargell hitting it hard. No runs, no hits, 2 walks, 2 men left. And at the end of 1 inning of play at River Stadium in Pittsburgh, no score.
Hello, honey, I'm home. What's for dinner?
Nothing.
What's for dessert? I never give up.
I don't want to set one foot in this
kitchen.
Don't use that word.
The appliance room? Stove place?
Kitchen will do.
Tell you what we're going to do.
What?
We're going to go to McDonald's and get you a sundae.
Honey, this is the sweetest thing. Let a Sunday round out your meal at McDonald's.
Big Mac, fries, whatever you want.
I need a treat. Lunch, dinner, and the old time.
Smile.
Oh, you're going to take my picture?
No, I'm going to take your sundae.
Oh, McDonald's Sundays. Delicious vanilla swirls covered with your favorite toppings.
And for dessert, we'd each like a sundae. Honey, you want hot fudge, hot caramel, or strawberry?
Yep.
What?
Thank you.
The which?
One of these.
She didn't mean that. You know, I love it when you don't cook.
He didn't mean that.
Sunday makes your home meal shine. Got great Sunday in a Sunday cup.
McDonald's does have Sundays.
Eat 'em up, eat 'em up, eat 'em up. At McDonald's Sunday. We do it all for you.
We need to do this more often.
Hey, you're on.
Let's fill the kitchen.
The Cubs went down in order in the top of the first inning against 27-year-old Blyleven. Now he will face Bobby Murcer, who was 0 for 4 yesterday, then Dave Kingman and Steve Ontiveros. They'll play Murcer the full. Marino moving deep into right center field. Parker deep in right. Right side of that infield. Stargell and Stennett are deep. And the shortstop Taveras is shaded well over towards second. First pitch, fastball. And so far, he has not shown the Cubs a highly rated curveball. That was outside for ball one on Murcer. Here's the delivery. Strike call. Bobby, I'm sure, batted against him, Lou, when Bobby was with the Yankees, probably.
I imagine he was holding a session in the clubhouse before today's game.
1-1 delivery. A little off and caught the corner away. Ball one, strike two. Advanced scout for the Cubs, Eddie Lyons, who had taken a long look at Pittsburgh in spring training, and he ended in his report to Herman Franks here yesterday on the Pirates. And Lyons took off last night to scout the Mets today and tomorrow. It's a swing and a miss. The pitch was down and in on him. Whether that's his splatter or what it is.
That threw very sharply.
Yeah.
If he throws his curveball, he throws that with quite a velocity. If that was his curveball.
Dave Kingman yesterday had a base hit, 1 for 3. See if he can have any luck against Blyleven. He said he has never faced him before, not even in spring training. Here's the windup. Swing, and he got a piece of that ball, tapped it foul. They're playing him deep and to pull. They give Kingman that right field line. Parker in right field is looking down on a line with second and third. He's so far off the right field area. And Stennett is shaded way over. The fastball up in his eyes, and he swung and missed. Good high fastball. Candelaria showed the Cubs that same pitch on several occasions yesterday and had them going after it. Rising fastball. 0-2. Here it comes. That one is high and off the middle of the catcher, Ed Ott, and this time Kingman laid off. Ball 1, strike 2. Shortstop Taveras is well over in the hole. Now Stennett is retreated at second base. He's about 3 or 4 steps beyond that stripe that would designate the start of the outfield grass. There's a swing and a pitch that was thrown away from him, and he got a piece of that one and fouled it away. So he's still alive with 1 out. No score. Cubs batting in the second. 1 away. Cubs will be back home at Wrigley Field to open the season against these Pirates next Friday. Pirates will be followed into Wrigley Field by the Montreal Expos and then the New York Mets. 1-2 delivery. Swung on and a liner to shortstop Taveras. Because he was way over in the hole, he was able to take just 2 or 3 steps and grab that one hit high. So Kingman is lined out, and that brings to bat Steve Ontiveros, who was 0 for 3 yesterday. While the box seats and the reserve seats are sold out for next Friday's game against Pittsburgh, more than 12,000 unreserved seats will go on sale the morning of the game. Blyleven delivers, and there's a breaking ball in for a strike at the knees. He's looked sharp as usual. Noted for his fine control, and he's displayed it here so far today. There's a curve breaking low and inside. Forced Taveras to skip rope. Ball 1, strike 1. The 9-game homestand. 3 against Pittsburgh, 3 against the Expos, 3 against the Mets. 1-1 pitch. High. Ball 2, strike 1. The Expos at New York this afternoon. And a newcomer to their pitching staff, veteran Rudy May, going against Nino Espinosa with the Mets 2-1 pitch. Fastball high. 3-1. You're gone. First 5 Cubs have been retired. Blyleven's next pitch swung on. He taps a little foul ball. Bounces back behind the plate. Over the wall in left field here today in the sunshine. Down the right field corner, it's shadow and no banners over there. The Buck Brigade, blast off Bucks. That one done in the colors of the Pittsburgh Pirates. Black and old gold. A full count on Ontiveros with 2 away. Top of the second. Here's the windup. The delivery. Checks his frame, but it's a strike, and he went around on it. Was in on him right at the fifth. 2 strikeouts in the second inning for Blyleven. Could be a vital cog in the Pirates' plans this year to wrest that championship in the division away from the Phillies. At the end of 1.5 innings of play, no score. Now is the time to test drive a 78 Cutlass. Why? Well, because right now, with over 4,000 available in Chicagoland, you can choose the color and options you want with immediate delivery at your Chicagoland Oldsmobile dealer. When you test drive the 78 Cutlass, you'll discover how the new trimmer size makes for smooth riding, easier handling. And inside, feel the comfort and enjoy the space because there's more headroom and legroom than ever. So visit your Chicagoland Oldsmobile dealer today. Test drive the 78 Cutlass. You'll discover what a pleasure it is. Rennie Stennett, the Pirates' second baseman, bothered with a bad leg this spring, is leading off. Yesterday, the right-handed hitter was 0 for 3. Here's Burris in the lineup of the first pitch, a fastball, slashed on a liner into the glove of Buckner at first base, and he hit it right on the nose. 1 pitch, 1 away. In the first inning, they had 2 men on as a result of bases on balls. The inning ended with Stargell hitting a hard ground ball to Buckner for an unassisted put-out to leave 2 men stranded. And here is Ed Ott, the left-handed hitting catcher. 0 for 3 for Ott yesterday. Burris winds. He swings and he bounces one foul on the first baseline. He went after the first pitch. Cleveland gets Kansas City's Dennis Leonard for 4 runs in the bottom of the first inning at Cleveland today. Garland going against Leonard. The Indians with a 4-0 lead. There's a ball that bounces into the dirt. Got by everybody. Ball 1, strike 1. Shaded just a bit into right field, almost straight away for Ott. Here's the pitch. Missed way outside. Ball 2, strike 1. Ray having a little bit of control trouble. Ott stance closed. First winds. Here's the delivery. Fastball for a strike called in the outside corner to level the count at 2-2. Beautiful sunshiny day. Here's the windup. Fastball. Tried to put a little too much on it. Missed low and inside. 3-2. Cincinnati 2, Houston 1. It's the end of 4 at Cincinnati today. 3-2 pitch. Ott goes after it. Fouls the fastball out of play. Back into the seats on the third base side. In the on-deck circle, the third baseman, Fernando Gonzalez. 3-2 pitch. Misses low and inside. His third walk of the ballgame. Don't like giving him that many opportunities, Lou.
Well, of course, he's working on a new pitch, and with that, he's going to be a little off target. But they're trying to change his delivery, hoping that it'll complement the fastball.
Gonzalez replacing Bill Garner in the lineup these first 2 days because of bad back suffered by Garner. Gonzalez, a right-hander, yesterday 1 for 3. A throw to first base, and Ed Ott back at plenty of time. They don't expect him to go. He doesn't have that kind of speed, but he does have a good lead. And another throw to first. He's back in standing. Murcer almost standing. Well, he is standing in the shadow now of the upper deck out in right field. Gross playing this hitter to swing late. Here's a pitch to him. The bat out there faked the bunt and took a fastball inside. Ball 1 on Fernando Gonzalez, a native Puerto Rico. Check signs, gets one from third base coach Joe Lynette as he steps back in. 1-0. 1 out, runner at first, and another lob toss over to first base. In case they're going to put on the hit and run, they want to keep him close. Picked a little pebble up off the mound, threw it away under the carpet in foul territory. Now he's ready. 1-0 delivery. They expected the runner to be going, and it was a pitch outside for ball 2. Guess wrong.
He's going to go. He's going to go on this pitch because the Cubs wouldn't pitch out now to make the count 3-0. So Burris will try to get the ball close to the plate.
Has that right foot just on the carpet at first. Doesn't go. A swing and a miss. With a healthy rip. Ball 2, strike 1. Bit cool in the shade because of a breeze that's blowing here today. Down in that field, it's pretty warm in the sunshine. Ray has his sign. 2-1 delivery. Up doesn't go. And Gonzalez goes after a pitch outside and fouls it into the seats on the first base side. Ball 2, strike 2. Freddie Norman, the veteran left-hander, going for the Reds today against Joaquin Andahar for the Houston Astros. George Foster with his second homer for the Reds already. Cincy to a 2-1 lead. 2-2 pitch on its way. Swung on, fastball, and he fouls it out of play. Colorful ballpark. Almost circular in shape. Seats way up the top are an orange color, then a few rows of net upper deck, a bright yellow. There's a delivery, swung on and missed, and he got Gonzalez on a good fastball up and in on him. So Burris has posted his first strikeout of the 1978 season. While he is not yet allowed a hit, he has issued 3 bases on balls, and here comes Bert Blyleven into the batter's box, heading for the first time for the Pirates, and probably the first time he has batted in a regular game in a long time. Imagine he ever got a chance to bat in the American League with the designated hitter in the last, 3 or 4 years. He swings at the first pitch, bounces it back to Ray. He has it easily. And that retires aside as Blyleven, one bouncer back to the pitcher. So the Cubs come to bat at the end of 2 innings of play, still looking for their first base runner of the day, and the score remains 0-0.
Next time you have an appetite for fine Chinese American food, go directly to Jimmy Wong's North at 3058 West Peterson in Chicago and carte blanche it. Jimmy Wong's North is one of the many fine restaurants in Chicago where your carte blanche card will allow you to spoil, indulge, and treat yourself to the kind of food nobody can make at home. Dinner always tastes a little better when you have it with style with your carte blanche card, because people know carte blanche denotes more than an average measure of distinction and taste. With a carte blanche card, you can travel with style, too. You can carte blanche your airline tickets, carte blanche your rented car, carte blanche your hotel bill. So keep your card with you wherever you go. Carte blanche your way to over $250,000 across the country, including Jimmy Wong's up north. Say hello for us. Carte blanche it. You'll know you're going first class. And so will everyone else.
Inning, the Aces fly to center. Gross popped up to the third baseman, and Buckner flied out to the left fielder. In the second inning, Murcer struck out. Kingman lined out to the shortstop, and Ontiveros struck out. So, we're looking for our first base runner, and still looking for our first run of the season. About time we get it, huh?
I wish we start swinging those bats, being a little more aggressive at the plate. I know it's early, but we have to get some base hits and put them together.
All right, let's do it right now.
I'll vote for that. Manny Trillo will lead off, followed by Rader, and then Burris. Blyleven has been tough. He's retired the first 6 cuts, and he's struck out 2. Moreno, Pirate center fielder, moves over shading into right center for Manny Trillo. He has 1 for 3 in this series thus far. First pitch, good fastball, strike 1 call. I imagine Blyleven is pumped up out there on that mound for his first start in the National League. Here's a curveball, swinging a ground ball to shortstop. Taveras has it, fires to first, and gets Trillo just in time. Trillo showing some hustle going down that line. Now here's Dave Rader, 1 for 3 yesterday. Blyleven, a right-hander, of course, will be facing left-handed hitting Dave Rader. Blyleven, right-hander, looks in, gets his sign from Ott. The pitch. Breaking pitch inside. Ball 1. Ball 1 pitch. Fastball high. Ball 2. So this is one of the few hitters that Blyleven has been behind on the count. Ball 2, no strikes. The 2-0 pitch out of the way, and Rader takes a strike right down the middle. Moreno, with a left-handed hitter, Rader bat, is shading over into left center, expecting Rader to swing late. The 2-1 pitch. Fastball, ground Ground ball to the second baseman's left. Stennett moves quickly to the left, gloves it, throws to Stargell for the out. 8 straight Cubs have been retired. Now here's Cubs pitcher at bat, Burris. One fly ball has been hit to the outfield. That was by DeJesus, leading off the ball game, going after the first pitch as he flied out to Moreno. And then Buckner flied out to Milner to close out that first inning. So 2 balls have been hit in the outfield. First pitch, ball 1 inside. 2 outs, nobody on base, no score. There's the first base hit of the ball game, a line drive into left center. So with 2 outs, DeJesus will bat with a runner on first. So there's the first hit of the ball game. DeJesus, who had 3 for 4 yesterday off of Candelaria. Stargell will play just behind or in front of the base runner at first base. Gonzalez, normal position at third. Here's the stretch by Blyleven, the pitch. Fastball for a strike taken by DeJesus. Right after the first pitch in the first inning, he's taking the first pitch here in the third. Strike 1 pitch on its way. Slider hit foul out of play. So Blyleven out in front of DeJesus, now 0-2. 2 outs, no score. We're in the third inning. DeJesus levels the dirt in the batter's box and gets set. Levels the bat over the plate. Blyleven works quickly. He's into the stretch. The pitcher, ball over his head. That ball just sailed over DeJesus' head, and now it's 1-2. Up next. 1-2 pitch. Fastball, and he swings and misses. And that ball just sailed over the outside corner. So that's the third strikeout for Blyleven. It closes out the third inning. No runs, 1 hit, 1 man left on base. Pirates coming to bat. Bottom of the third inning. Cubs nothing, Pirates nothing.
General Finance, friendly Bob Adams.
Danny Breen here, Bob. I'm calling from the Clam and Yam restaurant.
What's all the commotion?
Oh, well, my mother-in-law is a dead ringer for a movie star, Bob.
Really?
Yeah, everywhere we go, people start screaming.
Must be an amazing resemblance. Who does she
Last
look like?
night, some guy tried to put his hairy paws on her.
Oh, boy, who did
So, Bob, can I get a medical loan?
She got hurt?
No, Mom agreed to some minor cosmetic surgery just to change her looks.
Well, I'm sure we can arrange a medical loan, but,
Maybe she'll come out looking like Raquel or Farrah, or I'd even settle for Lassie.
which movie star does she look like?
Did you ever see the movie King Kong?
I'll get started in that loan, Dan.
Thanks, Bob.
You can always get a little help
Get off the piano.
from a friend at General Finance. There are 70 General Finance Chicago area offices. Call General Finance's friendly Bob Adams to borrow up to $10,000. Call Andover 3-2020. Also at office in Fox Lake.
In the third inning, it'll be the second time around for the Pirates. Their leadoff hitter, Taveras, and then Moreno and then Parker. Moreno's stolen base in the first inning was the first for the Pirates in 78. They had stolen 260 bases in 1977. So that's the type of offense that Chuck Tanner has put in for the Pirates. Normally, they would not run that much in the past, but they have the men to do it. And 260 stolen bases in 77, and Tanner wants to break that particular figure. He has 1 thus far. Here's Taveras at bat. First pitch. Curveball for a strike over the outside corner. Taveras grounded out to Trillo at second base his first time at bat. Taveras takes a fastball for a strike. 2 strikes on Taveras. No score, third inning. Pirates against the Cubs. There's a pitch inside, and it's 1 ball, 2 strikes. 1-2 pitch on its way. Swinging a ground ball to Ontiveros' left. He moves quickly to the left, gloves it, throws to Buckner for the out. 1 out. Moreno now the hitter who walked in the first inning. You know, the Pirates will open up the Cubs' 1978 home season next Friday. So if you muster up a group, or if you belong to a club or an organization, here's a terrific idea from Hall of Famer Ernie Banks, manager of group sales. Just spend an afternoon enjoying Major League Baseball at Wrigley Field. First pitch on its way. He checks his swing. He asks for a call from third base for Kibler, and the Cubs get it. Rader appealed, and Kibler called it a strike. 0-1 pitch. Inside. Just call EB71919. Ask about the Ernie Banks special group package for groups of 20 or more. I'll give you that telephone number once again. Ball low. EB71919. Ernie Banks special. Everything will be arranged for you, from tickets to transportation. The pitch. Moreno fakes a bunt, but it's a strike right over the heart of the plate. 2-2 the count now. 1 out, nobody on base for the Pirates. Rader gives a sign. Moreno levels that bat over the plate. Here's the ball, 2 strike 2 pitch. A swing and a foul out of play down the left field line. So the count remains 2-2. Cubs will close out their first Tuesday and Wednesday afternoon games, and then it's back home to good old Chicago. Another foul pop off the bat of Moreno. Ball 2, strike 2. Parker due up next, waiting in the on-deck circle, observing the pitches thrown to Moreno. Here's the 2-2 pitch. High, ball 3, strike 2. Full count to Moreno. Cubs play him straight away. He's very fast. 3-2 pitch on its way. Swinging a ground ball to second baseman. Trillo moves a couple of steps to his right, gloves it, throws Moreno out. Cubs keeping Taveras and Moreno off those base paths helps tremendously. Now with 2 outs in the third inning, here's Parker, who flied deep to Gross in center field, first time at bat. He had 1 for 3 yesterday. Powerfully built left-handed hitter. First pitch to him. Curveball into the dirt. The appeal is asked. That time it goes to the Pirates. Ball 1, no strikes. John Milner, formerly with the Mets, in the on-deck circle. 1 ball pitch on its way. Swing, and there's one hit deep to right field. Mercer going back. Near the wall. Look. Gets it goodbye. Home run. Parker gets his first home run of the 1978 season. His 68th career home run. It was a sinking line drive over the right field wall. And the Pirates lead 1-0. That was the first hit of the game, and also the first run. After 2 are out, you're in the third inning. Now here's Milner at bat. in the first inning. Strike called on the first pitch. Cubs play Milner straight away. There's one low, and it's 1-1. The count on Milner. Parker, the National League batting champion in 1977, has put the Pirates ahead. Ball 2. Low and inside. So it's 2-1 now to Milner, left-handed hitter. Pirates out in front, 1-0. The pitch. Swinging a ground ball to Trillo. Has it. Straightens up. Sidearms a throw to Buckner for the out. But in the third inning, the Pirates take the lead with Parker's first home run of 1978. 1 run, 1 hit. Nobody left on base. At the end of 3, Pirates 1, the Cubs 0. This is the WGN Chicago Cubs Baseball Network.
Mike Miles Show, Sunday at 4 on WGN Radio Chicago.
Well, let's see if the Cubs can break the ice and score 1 run. Might help score 3 or 4. Cubs are down 1-0. Gross will lead off in the 4th inning. He popped out to Gonzalez first time at bat. Blyleven with a 1-0 lead. Fires a ball outside. Gross doubles that bat over the plate. He'll hit to all fields. He takes a ball that's low, and now it's ball 2. No strikes. Gross checks down to Malfitano to get his sign. The pitch on its way. There's a strike called. 2-1 to count. Normally the manager will control the 2-0 pitch, 3-1 pitch, 3-0 pitch. Or, of course, if a situation calls for a sacrifice. Here's a swing and a miss on a good inside fastball. Everything we've heard about Blyleven has been curveballs. But he showed us and is showing us a good fastball today. 2-2 pitch. Another fastball swing, a line drive, base hit into left center by Gross. There's the Cubs' second hit off Blyleven. But this one opens up the inning. Now let's see if we can continue with Buckner at bat. Buckner flied out to Milner in left field, first time at bat. Stargell holding Gross on at first. Gonzalez moves in from third. Here's the pitch by Blyleven, high, ball 1. Murcer follows Buckner, and then Kingman. So this is the meat of the Cubs batting order. Let's see if we can produce a few runs. The pitch. Swing and a line drive to center field. It's going to fall for a base hit. Gross can only advance to second base. Gross was not sure as to whether that ball was going to carry out to Moreno. But it landed in front of the center fielder. So he stops at second base. And that's the third hit off Blyleven. And it brings Bobby Murcer to the plate. Murcer struck out in the second inning. Cubs now have the tying run at second base and the lead run at first. Blyleven checks into Ott, his catcher. Takes the stretch, the kick, the pitch. He attempts to bunt the ball, but bunts it foul. Murcer trying to sacrifice. Bunts that ball foul off of the shin guards of Ott, the catcher. Stargell doesn't believe that Murcer's going to bunt and moves behind the base runner, Buckner at first. Gonzalez is even with the bag at third, and Murcer wants another sign. Steps out of the batter's box. He wants to be sure whether he is to bunt or is to get a base hit. The pitch. Curveball swing, double play ball to Stennett. He goes to short for one, but he's off the bag, and he's safe. And now he's out. Buckner Buckner did not reach second base, but I'll say one thing. That young umpire, West, saw it as we saw it, that Taveras was off the base. But when Buckner slid, he did not reach the base, and he's called out. It was a ground ball to Stennett's left. He wheeled and threw to Taveras, and for some reason or other, Taveras was not on second base. But then he touched Buckner with the ball in his glove for the out. So Cubs have runners on first and third for Dave Kingman. It's a fielder's choice for Murcer. Gross advances to third. Kingman with an opportunity to drive in his first 78-run or run. Takes the first pitch, a slider over the outside corner, strike one. One out. Pirates infielders hoping for a double play. Gross off third. Murcer off first. Here's the pitch. Outside. 1-1 to come. Kingman lined out to the shortstop Taveras in the second inning. Pirates lead 1-0. Another fastball swing, a line drive, base hit into left center by Gross. There is the Cubs' second hit off Blyleven. But this one opens up the inning. Now let's see if we can continue with Buckner at bat. Buckner fried out to Milner in left field. First time at bat. Stargell holding Gross on at first. Gonzalez moves in from third. Here's the pitch by Blyleven. High, ball one. Murcer follows Buckner. And then Kingman. So this is the meat of the Cubs batting order. Let's see if we can produce a few runs. The pitch. Swing and a line drive to center field. It's going to fall for a base hit. Gross can only advance to second base. Gross was not sure as to whether that ball was going to carry out to Moreno. But it landed in front of the center fielder. So he stops at second base. And that's the third hit off Blyleven. And it brings Bobby Murcer to the plate. Murcer struck out in the second inning. Cubs now have the tying run at second base and the lead run at first. Blyleven checks into Ott, his catcher. Takes the stretch, the kick, the pitch. He attempts to bunt the ball, but bunts it foul. Murcer trying to sacrifice. Bunts that ball foul off of the shin guards of Ott, the catcher. Stargell doesn't believe that Murcer's going to bunt and moves behind the base runner, Buckner at first. Gonzalez is even with the bag at third, and Murcer wants another sign. Steps out of the batter's box. He wants to be sure whether he is to bunt or is to get a base hit. The pitch. Curveball swing, double play ball to Stennett. He goes to short for one, but he's off the bag, and he's safe. And now he's out. Buckner did not reach second base, but I'll say one thing. That young umpire, West, saw it as we saw it, that Taveras was off the base. But when Buckner slid, he did not reach the base, and he's called out. It was a ground ball to Stennett's left. He wheeled and threw to Taveras, and for some reason or other, Taveras was not on second base. But then he touched Buckner with the ball in his glove for the out. So Cubs have runners on first and third for Dave Kingman. It's a fielder's choice for Murcer. Gross advances to third. Kingman with an opportunity to drive in his first 78-run or run. Takes the first pitch, a slider over the outside corner, strike one. One out. Pirates infielders hoping for a double play. Gross off third. Murcer off first. Here's the pitch. Outside. 1-1 to come. Kingman lined out to the shortstop Taveras in the second inning. Pirates lead 1-0. Cubs are threatening. Now Blyleven gets his side, goes into the stretch. The pitch to Kingman. High. Ball 2, strike 1. Dave being a little more choosy this year at the plate. Through the help of Lou Fonseca, batting instructor of the Cubs this spring. Now the stretch. Ball 2, strike 1 pitch. Swing and a miss on a high fastball. Strike 2. Tomorrow it'll be Royce against Fryman. A battle of southpaws. Right now, the situation, Cubs with runners on first and third, 1 out. Ball 2, strike 2 to Kingman. Pitch on its way. Curveball. And he swings and misses. There was his strikeout pitch. And he knew where to throw it. Kingman did not go after a bad pitch. It was in the strike zone around his knee. And that ball broke very sharply. That is the 4th strikeout for Blyleven, and a big one. So now we'll see if Ontiveros can pick up his teammate Kingman to score Gross from third. Here's the stretch to first pitch to Ontiveros. Fastball swing, a fly ball to left field. Milner is there. He moves back. He has room. He does it for the out. So the Cubs have threatened once again, but cannot pick up a run. After the first 2 men single, the Cubs do not score. In the 4th inning, no runs, 2 hits, 2 men left on the bases. At the end of 3.5 innings of play, Pirates 1, Cubs nothing.
Big league trades often come as a surprise to ball players, especially to the established old pro who may have been resting on his laurels. But sometimes a change of scene is good for a player, and a new face in the lineup is just the tonic a lethargic ball club needs. Of course, when it comes to beer, it's safe to say there's one trade you'll never make. Because once you experience the great light taste of Heilmann's Old Style beer, you'll sign a lifetime contract. Old Style is a hit right off the bat because it's brewed with water that flows sparkling pure from deep underground springs. With water like this, when you brew a beer once, you've got a good beer. When you brew a beer twice, you've got a great light beer. This double brewing, pure brewing, is an old world process known as poisoning. It's the most natural way to brew beer, and the most expensive. Try Old Style. Pure brewed in God's country. The captain of the Pirates, number 8, Willie Stargell, steps in the batter's box. He grounded out to Buckner to close out the first inning. Stargell, a favorite here in Pittsburgh, and not only here in Pittsburgh, throughout the entire country. Great gentleman. First pitch to him. Curveball low, ball 1. Pirates out in front, 1-0 on Parker's home run in the 3rd inning. Taveras is far off of that third base line against Stargell. There's a line drive into the Cubs bullpen. Johnny Moore almost had Stargell played perfectly as he was sitting in the bullpen. 1-1 to count on Stargell. Fastball for a strike over the inside corner. Pirates have driven in 2 runs thus far this year. Stargell has 1 of them. In defeating the Cubs yesterday, 1-0. Oh, there's a ball that hits Stargell right on the right hip, or right leg. That was a fastball inside.
Stargell drops the bat, but he's limping a little bit. It was a fastball, I'll tell you. He's trying to remain in the ball game. Tanner has him by the arm, talking to him. Trainer is there. Stargell reaches first base. Hit by a pitch. Now here's Stennett at bat. Buckner is going to play behind Stargell at first base. Stennett, right-handed hitter, sets. First pitch, fly ball to right field. Murcer calls for it, is under it. He squeezes it for the out. One out as Stennett went after the first pitch. Now, here's the left-handed hitter, Ott. Ed Ott walked in the second inning. He's looking for his first hit of the 78 season. Stargell with a short lead at first. The pitch. Strike called over the inside corner as Ott was backing away from the pitch. 1-0 Pirates. We're in the fourth inning. Ott takes outside, and it's 1-1. Gonzalez, 8th place hitter, due up next. Cubs hoping for an inning-ending double play. 1-1 pitch now to Ed Ott. And he takes it in the dirt, gets away from Rader, but quickly off comes the mask so he can keep an eye on that baseball and then also glance at the base runner. But Stargell did not advance. Ball 2, 1 strike. Cubs play out straight away. 2-1 pitch now on its way. Swinging a fly ball, short left center. Kingman moves over to his left. He has it for the out. Stargell returns to first base. Stargell still has that little limp going back to first base as he was hit by a very good fastball. The leg may tighten up in about 2 or 3 innings. No chance whatsoever right now to get some ice on it. First aid as he's on the bases. So with 2 outs, Gonzalez with that. Struck out his first time at bat. Cubs still have Buckner behind Stargell. Here's the pitch. Curveball low, outside, ball 1. Tanner may try to surprise the Cubs in sending Stargell with the 8th batter in the lineup at bat right now. The pitch, it's a strike call. 1-1 to count. Pirates, 1 run, 1 hit. But that hit was a tremendous home run off Parker's bat. It was well hit. Not for distance, but it was well hit. There's a swing and a foul out of play over the Pirates dugout. 1 ball, 2 strikes now on Gonzalez, replacing the injured Gardner. We're in the 4th inning. Gonzalez leans over that plate. The ball 1, strike 2 pitch, swing and a foul. Back to the screen. Ontiveros at third, DeJesus at short, Trillo at second, Buckner at first. The outfield, Kingman in left, Gross in center, Murcer in right. Once again, the 1 and 2 pitch, swinging a foul. There goes Stargell on the attempted steal. But Gonzalez, with 2 strikes on him, had to swing and fouled it back. So Tanner did try to sneak Stargell into second base. ball, 2 strikes. And now Buckner moves in a little closer to Stargell. Here's the pitch. Outside, 2-2 the count. The reason that you send a man with your 8th place hitter at bat is that if he's thrown out, you will lead off with the 8th place hitter with your pitcher batting second. Now we're ready. The pitch. High, ball 3. And if he is successful in stealing second base in a ball game, the opposing manager may walk the 8th place hitter to pitch to your pitcher, not to give up another run, and consequently you move your hitters around to bring up your big man in the next inning. 3-2 pitch on the way. It's strike call. Gonzalez is called out on strike, so they'll have to lead off the inning with Blyleven. 9 times out of 10, when you lead off that inning with a pitcher, you'll make out, so 1/3 of that inning is completed. But in the 4th for the Pirates, no runs, no hits, 1 man left on base. At the end of 4 complete innings of play, the totals: Pirates 1 run, 1 hit. Cubs no runs, 3 hits. What is it?
The hash brown pad, hash brown.
Some people don't know McDonald's hash brown when they see one.
Your breakfast major.
Egg scrambled fresh?
Fresh scrambled eggs. Check.
Sausage, pork?
Pure pork sausage. Check.
Muffin English?
Twisted English muffin.
And a funny-looking crispy thing.
Hash brown.
Perfect.
You check, Major.
A major breakfast. But even though a McDonald's hash brown may look a little funny, it certainly tastes good.
Still looking for their first run of the season. Have the bottom 3rd of the batting order up here against Blyleven, Trillo, Rader, and Burris. Slugfest going on at Cleveland today in the Kansas City Indian ball game. The Indians got 4 runs in the bottom of the 1st inning, but Kansas City matched that with 4 of their own in the top of the 2nd. Already Freddie Potek and Hal McRae hit homers. McRae with a man on. In the bottom of that same inning, Cleveland regained the lead with home runs off the bat of Pruitt and Dave, all Dave. There have been 4 homers hit over there, and at the end of 4, the Indians have a 6-4 lead over Kansas City. In Chicago, the Red Sox, 3 runs in the top of the 3rd with a 3-0 lead now over the White Sox at Sox Park. Toronto leading Detroit 3-1. First pitch. Trio hits a ball in too close. It is Cincinnati 2, Houston 1 in the 7th inning with the Reds at bat. Blyleven's fastball, low and away. Ball 2 to Trio. Grounded out to lead off the 3rd. Dodgers 4, Atlanta 1 at the end of 6 innings of play. Tommy John against Dick Ruthven. 2-0 delivery. Trio goes after a fastball. Hits a high foul. Stargell and Ed Ott giving chase to it on the first base side. It is out of their reach, back of the dugout. Rudy May and Nino Espinizo pitching for Montreal and the Mets this afternoon. Have not a lot of run through the first 3 innings of the ballgame. St. Louis at Philadelphia tonight. The Cardinals will try to make it 2 in a row. San Diego at San Francisco later on this afternoon. Ball 2, strike 1 pitch coming up on Trio, with the Pirates enjoying a 1-0 lead. Score by which they won the opener here yesterday. Blyleven has struck out 4. 2-1 delivery. Fastball tucked right in under Trio's chin. Forced him to put that head back out of the way, and when he did that, he lost his batting helmet. He could not only see that one, I'm sure he could hear it. 2 distinctly. Ed Ott gives a sign. Blyleven winds and Trio swings on this one. Hits a little blooper. It's got a chance. Nope. It's going to be caught by Rennie Stennett. Didn't carry quite as far as I hoped it would. He hit him on the fist with a good fastball. There's 1 gone, and Dave Rader stepping in. Rounded out to the second baseman in the 3rd inning. The first 8 Cubs are retired in order by Blyleven. Burris broke Blyleven's hopes of a no-hitter by getting a single in that 3rd inning. Then there were 2 successive hits in the 4th by Gross and Buckner. But the Cubs could not capitalize. There's the ball. 1 away, bases empty. Fastball swung on, and he hits a high pop-up into shallow left field. Milner comes in, shading his eyes. He's under it, makes the 2-handed catch. And Blyleven, renowned for his curveball, has shown an excellent fastball here today. Several of the Cubs have not been able to pull the ball against him. When he got Dave Kingman to chase a high fastball for a big strike, he then had him set up for that great curveball, which he swung and missed for the second out in that 4th inning. Then Ontiveros flied out to the left fielder. That retired the side. Cubs have left 3 men stranded. Burris steps in. Strike called away from the right-hander. Blyleven had a raft of shutouts last year in the American League, and there's a curve that forces Burris right on his back. Didn't break much. Ray hits the dirt. Ball 1, strike 1. You don't suppose he is replying to Burris hitting Stargell, do you? That one that didn't break much. Stayed high. Ball 2, strike 1. Wind up, fastball. Got a little piece of that one. Fouled it back. Tomorrow, Willie Stargell goes for the Cubs. His first appearance against the sidearm breaking ball. It's low, 3-2. He'll be going against the ball club with which he started his career. Royce, a left-hander, who appears to be in excellent shape, is to go for the Bucks tomorrow. He swings, chops one to the third baseman, Gonzalez. He's got it. Here's the pitch. Pulls Stargell off the bag, and the inning is still alive. Gonzalez sidearmed that ball over to first base, and it pulled Stargell well off the bag. An error on the throw by Fernando Gonzalez. Burris has reached for the 2nd time today. And Ivan De Jesus, who yesterday had 3 base hits. Looking for his first one today, stepping in after striking out and flying out to center field. The door opened just a bit by that error. 2 waves. First pitch. Swung on, slaps a ground ball off the chest of Gonzalez. Scrambles in, picks it up, throws too late. There was the ball. It bounced up off the carpet on the second hop and right over the glove of Fernando. Off his barrel-like chest. Scrambled forward towards the plate. Hastily picked it up, but he still couldn't nail De Jesus. They have not officially scored it yet. Little debate. Now they've finally ruled that will be a base hit. And the crowd, some of them are going to boo. Burris stopping at second base. Gross stepping in. Greg led off the 4th inning with a single, got as far as 3rd. Fastball, and he looks at a strike. Reno well over to left center field for him. Todd Parker, who has homered today, way off the right field line. Runners at first and second, 2 away. The strike 1 delivery. Swung on. Curve that came in, hit him on the fist, and he fouled it. It skips over into the box seats on the first base side. Vince Lloyd here with you. Lou Boudreau at Three River Stadium in Pittsburgh. Jack Minovich, our producer. 1-0 Pirates. And the Cubs batting here in the 5th. Bert Blyleven in the 1 stretch, and a fastball taken by Gross inside and low. Ball 1, strike 2. Blyleven was injured last year, was out of action for quite a while with the Texas Rangers. When he returned, it was really an auspicious return. He no-hit California's Angels. Goes a slow curve, and it's high. Ball 2, strike 2. He's had many, many shutouts in his career in the American League, but that's his only no-hitter. 2 on, 2 out, 2-2 pitch on its way. Gross swings, bounces it foul. Down to Cookie Rojas, past him on the first base side. Gross, after Burris was able to reach out first base on an errant throw from Gonzalez, the third baseman. And DeJesus had a grounder that jumped up off the chest of Gonzalez, reaching on a single. Now Gross with an opportunity to get the Cubs on the board. 2-2 pitch. Swung on and fouled just enough so that Ed Ott couldn't keep it in the glove. Barely alive. Where there's hope, there's life. It is still 2 on, 2 out, and a count of 2-2 on Gross. Blyleven's next pitch, a good fastball in on him, and he got a piece of that one and fouled it back. Gross getting his cuts in there. He's 1 for 2 today. Popped up his first time at bat in the first inning. Blyleven had retired the first 8 Cubs he faced today. They say he's the only active pitcher in the major leagues who was born in the Netherlands. I don't know who the previous pitchers in the majors were who were born there. He grew up out in California. 27 years of age. He and Bill Buckner have one thing in common. Well, 2 things, actually. Both make their home in California, and both wear uniform number 22. Deuces on the board. 2 on, 2 out, 2-2 pitch. Fastball, got another piece of that one. And he's still alive as he fouled that one back on the third base side. Buckner, hoping to get a chance to bat in this inning, is in the on-deck circle. Blyleven, with a new baseball, got up on the hill, then decided he'd go for the rosin bag, and he does briefly. Now toes are rubber. Leveling the bat, cocks it. Here's a pitch to him. Swung on, and a little pop-up back at second base. Going to be gathered in easily by Rennie Stennett to retire the side. The gate was open on the air, then an infield single, but no run. Because they're still looking for their first run of 1978. They leave 2 men on. We move to the bottom of inning number 5 at Pittsburgh, and the Pirates still lead 1-0. Today, Johnny Mayberry has hit his first home run for the Toronto Blue Jays. Mayberry dealt for them by Kansas City in the final days of spring training, as Wallop went out in the 3rd inning for Toronto against the Detroit Tigers. Game of the bases empty. Toronto carrying a 4-1 lead over Detroit at the end of 2.5 innings of play. For Blyleven, who will lead off in the bottom of the 5th inning. Came to bat in the 2nd inning with Ed Ott on base following a walk to Bertulway. Blyleven on the first pitch hit a 1-hopper right back to Burris to retire the side. The Houston-Cincinnati ball game this afternoon is now now in the 8th inning over at Cincy, with the Reds still leading 2-1. Ray Burris in the windup. Blyleven slaps foul ball. The first pitch thrown, a breaking ball away. Let's pause for station identification. This is the WGN Chicago Cubs Baseball Network.
WGN Radio Chicago, the Mike Miles Show, Friendly at 4.
Now the windup and a strike call. Over the outside corner to the right-handed hitter. Ray out in front of him on 2 winds. Let's see if he bothers to waste one. Yes, he does. Fastball away. Los Angeles Dodgers 4, Atlanta Braves 1 in the 7th inning down in Georgia. 1-2 pitch. Swung out and missed. Good fastball up in his eyes. That for Ray, his 3rd strikeout of the afternoon. One of the things plagued Burris a year ago on his way to a 14-16 season was his penchant for feeding that gopher ball, the home run pitch. He had a lock on the leadership in the ball club in that department. Yielded 29 home runs. He's given up 1 here today off the bat of Dave Parker. Now Frankie Taveras stepping in with one away. The right-hander takes into the dirt outside, backhanded by Dave Rader. Ball 1 to Taveras. It's 158 career stolen bases. Slaps a ground ball. Manny Trillo over there with it up easily over to first base. Taveras trying to go, it appeared, with that pitch away. And twice now he's grounded out to Trillo. Once he pulled the ball down to the third baseman, Ontiveros, who also shot him down. So he's grounded out 3 times today. Omar Moreno, with the bases empty, 2 gone here in the 5th, steps in. He walked, stole second, and languished there in the 1st inning. In the 3rd, he bounced out to Trillo. Wide up in the pitch. Checks his swing. Burris's curve is a little low. Ball 1. On the air tomorrow, 12:30 network time, 12:15 WGN time. There's a swing and a high fly ball that should be hauled in easily by Gross. He's there. Greg reaches up, 2-hands it. Pirates go down in order in the 5th inning. The Cubs, who have still not scored a run here at Pittsburgh, through 14 innings of play in this young season, come to bat with Buckner, Murcer, and Kingman, the heart of the batting order, up against Blyleven, with Pittsburgh still leading 1-0.
I need lead-free gas. How do I know which one's a good one?
I always go with the #1 brand. I paid a lot of money for this car. I want a great lead-free gasoline for it.
I'm a standard dealer. What I tell my customers is that today's new cars run on lead-free fuel, but they don't all run the same way on it. So we standard dealers give you a lead-free choice. Our lead-free Amoco in the Blue Pump is the Midwest best-selling lead-free. Ever since the lead-free age began, lead-free Amoco has been preferred by new car buyers. And now there's a second lead-free Amoco gasoline. Higher octane Amoco premium lead-free in the Gold Pump. It's designed for cars old and new that need higher octane to run the way they should.
You get a choice at Standard.
I like that Amoco in the Blue Pump. Amoco Premium's great.
See your independent standard dealer near you and get his lead-free choice. You expect more from a leader.
Bill Buckner ended the 1st inning flying out to the left fielder, John Milner. After Greg Gross led off the 4th inning with a base hit, Buckner's up the base hit into center field. Gross had to hold up at second. And Bobby Murcer, the ground ball, which Buckner, going into second base, was forced. And he might have been on there safely had he ever gotten to the bag with his slide, because Fernando took the throw to shortstop. Taveras was off the bag, but he eventually was able to tag Buckner before he got in there. That was the first out of the inning. Then Kingman fanned and Ontiveros flied out. First pitch to him, a ball. There's a swing and a fastball, and he lines it foul way down the left field line. Our engineer, Mel Check, was down in Florida while the Pirates were down there training, and he saw Blyleven pitch 2 or 3 times. He said that today, Blyleven is not throwing that big curve that he showed down in Florida. Threw a breaking ball there, didn't break much, and it stayed high and away. Ball 2, strike 1. Nobody on, nobody out. Cubs need a run to tie and 2 to take the lead. Blyleven about 6'3", 200. Now he's ready. Winds, delivers. Buckner takes it 1 high. Ball 3, strike 1. Oh, Billy Buckner. 1 for 6 for the year. Looking to get on to get an inning started. 3-1 pitch. Good cut. But he's out front and hits a high foul. It's going to be out of play way down the first base side. Pirates, by adding pitcher the caliber of Blyleven to their staff, figure that they're pretty solid in that starting pitching department. Certainly up what he's shown here today and what Candelaria did to the Cubs yesterday in going the distance. Their 1-2 punch looks to be very formidable. Fastball swung on, a hard shot off the chest of Stargell. He's still got it. Comes up the line, limping just a little bit, and gets it unassisted put out, and applause from the crowd. Stargell was playing him deep. Buckner hit a ball right in the nose. One away, that brings up Bobby Murcer. Struck out a couple of times yesterday, fanned once today, hit into a fielder's choice, so Bobby is still looking for his first hit of the season. Takes a fastball, letter high strike. Blyleven again is ready. Another fastball. Mercer lays off it, and it's also high. Away. Base is empty. There's a swing and a foul tip into the middle of Ed Ott. A pretty good rip that time by Mercer. He steps out of the batter's box for a moment. We have shadows now, not only in the right field corner, but along the first base line and across home plate. The rest of the field is in bright sunshine yet. Cubs with new road uniforms. They look sharp. Fastball high. They look like a paler blue than they used to wear in the road, but Bob Kennedy assured me today that they're exactly the same shade of blue that they've worn in the past. Here's a pitch, a swing, and a miss on a curve. Strike 3, and he's handy. Two gone. Kennedy said he thought they were a different shade. Clubhouse man, Yost Kawano, pulled one of the old ones out, laid it side by side. That color is a blue in there, is still the same, but apparently they look so different because of the wide white chalk stripe. They're smart looking. Here's Dave Kingman, who's lined and fanned. He swings viciously, got under the ball and popped his foul back out of play. 1 hit for Kingman yesterday in 3 trips. Blyleven really worked on him in the 4th inning. Pitched superbly against him. That's when the Cubs had 2 men on. With 1 away, and he spanned him on that occasion. Good swing and a miss on a fine curveball. Extra velocity on it. May have been his slider. Didn't break as much as you would expect a curveball to break. But enough so that Kingman's bat found no piece of it. So he has Dave in the hole, nothing in 2. Here's the windup. Curve, high and tight. Ball 1, strike 2. Pirates, as in yesterday's ball game, have a 1-0 lead on Parker's home run over the right field wall. Parker way over into right center field for Kingman. 1-2 pitch. Sidearms him, and he misses inside. Playing him strictly as a pull hitter, Rennie Stennett at second base is out beyond that outfield stripe on the carpet. Some 5 or 6 feet. Shaded well over up the middle. Taveras is deep, standing on the stripe at shortstop. Way over over in the third base side. And Gonzalez deep at third. Swing and a miss on a good fastball up and away. Great pitching by Bert Blyleven. He now has posted 6 strikeouts in his National League debut for these Pittsburgh Pirates. So far, he has matched the performance of yesterday's starter, John Candelaria. He has shut out the Cubs, and we go into the bottom of inning number 6 at Pittsburgh. Pirates still enjoying a 1-0 lead.
General Finance, friendly Bob Adams. Fred Drips here, Bob, the man without a home.
Oh, what happened, Fred? Hurricane, fire?
Parents, Bob.
What?
They kicked me out of their house.
Their house?
Can you believe it, Bob? After 42 years.
Well, let's say...
So my wife and I will be needing a moving loan,
you
Bob.
both lived in
We're going to move in with her folks.
You sure you want to do that?
Oh, sure. They just love the baby girl.
Oh, that's nice.
They just think the 4 boys are loud.
Well, boys will be boys.
These boys will be a rock band.
Must be very entertaining.
Oh, yeah. Shep and the 12 pups get so excited.
I better get to work on that moving loan. Where will you be living?
The south, the west, the north.
How can you live in...
We'll go wherever her folks take their trailer.
I'll hurry that loan.
Oh, thanks, Bob.
You can always get a little help from a friend at General Finance. Our 70 General Finance Chicago area offices call General Finance's friendly Bob Adams to borrow up to $10,000. Simply call Andover 32020. Remember, they also have an office out in lovely Joliet. General Finance. Dave Buckner should get a hero's welcome as he steps into the batter's box to lead off the bottom of the 6th. He homered in the 3rd. Defending National League batting champion. Burris in the windup. The big left-hander swings. Ground ball to Buckner. He's got it off the carpet. Underhand toss to Burris. Steps in the bag in front of the flying Parker. And there's one away on 1 pitch. That'll bring up Johnny Milner, who has walked and bounced out. Former Met. Matthews over to the Atlanta Braves in the 4th inning. We're still against Tommy John. But the Dodgers still leading in the ballgame 4-1. First pitch, Milner takes a breaking ball a little bit low. Ball 1. You believe the Pirates have only 1 hit? Swing and a liner into the glove of Buckner. Still gone. Yesterday they managed only 3 hits. But they also managed to win the ball game. Today they have only 1. They lead 1-0. What's going on here, huh? One of the Dodger runs in the 5th inning came on a homer by Reggie Smith with the Dodgers. His first of the year. Here's Willie Stargell. Hit by a breaking pitch when he led off the 4th inning. So for 1 officially. Swing and a foul. A good fastball to him. Solomon has come on to pitch now for Atlanta. McGriff then very likely lifted for a pinch hitter. 0-1 delivery. Willie checks his swing at the ball, a little bit low. Takes a little off of that one, and he throws it into the dirt in front of the plate on a chain. Ball 2, strike 1. Dodgers now leading Atlanta 5-1 in the 7th. Devine has relieved Solomon on the hill for the Braves. Ball 2, strike 1. They finish the 7th. They're now in the 8th inning. 2-1 delivery. Full curve. He wanted to go after it, held up. Dave Rader asked for the appeal. Denied by third base umpire Johnny Kibler. Andy Thornton has homered over at Cleveland this afternoon. The 5th one reported in that ball game between them and Kansas City. Curve outside. Ball 4 to Stargell. He's out in front of him and now loses him on a base on balls. The 4th one of the day. While at the outset, Burris was, he walked 2 men in the 1st inning. Walked 1 in the 2nd. Ed Ott. And walk Stargell to keep this sixth inning alive and bring to bat Rennie Stennett. There's the first one, a breaking ball, low and outside. The right-hander hitting Rennie Stennett. Andy Thornton's homer today came in the fifth inning for the Indians with a man on. Ground ball. Buckner dives to his right. He's got it. Comes back to the bag for an unassisted put out and Stennett. Robbed by Buckner's fine play is out, and so are the Pirates in the sixth with no runs and no hits. One walk and a man left on. Cub fans at Three River Stadium, and not very many of them, standing for the seventh inning stretch. It is still Pittsburgh 1 and the Cubs nothing.
Your garden hose has to carry thousands of gallons of water every summer when you watch the hoses that'll last season after season.
Defensive change made by manager Chuck Tanner now. He's put in Steve Fry in left field. He's a man they just got from Milwaukee this spring, replacing Milner. Montreal hit the Mets with 3 runs in the top of the fourth inning. New York got one of them back on Steve Henderson's homer at the bottom of that fourth off Rudy Mays. The Expos still out in front 3-1. Steve Ontiveros to lead off against Blyleven has fanned today and flied out to left field. Indians leading Kansas City 8-4 in the sixth inning over at Cleveland. There have been 5 home runs hit in that ball game. 3 by Cleveland. Burleson homered for the Red Sox in Chicago today with the bases empty. Boston leading 4-0 over Chicago. Here's the windup by Blyleven. Strike call over the outside corner. Steve, of course, hitting left-handed against this right-hander. Wind up the pitch. Fastball, good swing, and all he can do is pop it up into shallow right center field. Who's going to grab it? Moreno comes over, hollers the second baseman Stennett off, grabs it easily. He's shown an awfully good fastball today. Manny Trillo has grounded out and popped up so far today. Steps in with the bases empty. The Cubs have 4 hits. The Pirates have only 1. Yesterday they out-hit the Bucks 7-3. Lost the ball game 1-0, and they're losing this one 1-0. 1 hit, a homer by Parker. Wind up the delivery. Trillo swings, fouls that fastball down the right field line on a play. You know, there's a little bit of boy in every dad. He's still wearing his baseball hat and mitt. If he has a birthday coming up, give the boy in him a present that he'll really enjoy. A gift certificate, good for any big league game at Wrigley Field. Box seat tickets are $5.50. Reserved grandstand, only $4.50. Here's a swing by Manny. Easy. 1 hit, a homer by Parker. Wind up the delivery. Trillo swings, fouls that fastball down the right field line on a play. You know, there's a little bit of boy in every dad. He's still wearing his baseball hat and mitt. If he has a birthday coming up, give the boy in him a present that he'll really enjoy. A gift certificate, good for any big league game at Wrigley Field. Box seat tickets are $5.50. Reserved grandstand, only $4.50. Here's a swing by Manny. Easy grounder to the second baseman. 2 gone. Send it over to Stargell. That brings up Rader with the bases empty. You can send your check or money order to ticket office at Wrigley Field, Chicago, 60613. But be sure to add 50 cents per order for postage and handling. And don't forget to specify gift certificates in your request. This message furnished by the Chicago Cubs. Ben Floyd and Lou Boudreau here with you at Three River Stadium. Dave Rader. 0 for 2 today. 1 hit yesterday. Stepped in against Blyleven. Takes one high. Ball 1 and fastball. Johnny Moore is throwing in the Cub bullpen just in case we get anything started here. Wind up the delivery. Big swing and a ground ball to send it at second base. It's going to be 1-2-3 in the 7th inning, and it is. No runs yesterday for the Cubs in 9 innings against John Candelaria, despite the fact they had 7 hits. Today they've out-hit Pittsburgh 4-1, but at the end, a 6.5. The Pirates lead 1-0. Walker from
God's country. Sparkling, pure spring water. Gottlieb Heilemann spent years looking for water like this. He found it in La Crosse, Wisconsin in 1853. Heilemann still uses this water today to double brew a great light beer called Old Style in a traditional old world way called poisoning. Poisoning is the most natural way to brew beer and the most expensive. But at Old Style, we don't aim to make the most beer, only the best. That's why we use poisoning and sparkling pure Wisconsin spring water. Taste the difference they make. Try Old Style. Pure brewed in God's country. G. Heilemann Brewing Company, La Crosse, Wisconsin.
Ed Ott, Fernando Gonzalez, the pitcher, Bert Blyleven, and the bat against Ray Burris as we move into the bottom of the seventh inning, and let's hope that'll be all. He has allowed just one base hit, but it was a homer over the right field wall off the bat of Dave Parker. That's the scoring of this ball game. Now the Cubs' new roster book is better than ever. 72 pages thick. Now that's 8 pages more. How much does it cost compared to last year, the year before? Well, there's no increase in price. This one is really jam-packed with the most complete information imaginable. You can get yours by sending $1 to the roster book, Wrigley Field, Chicago. Their zip code, of course, 60613. But for each order, add 25 cents for postage and handling. That's the roster book. Wrigley Field, Chicago, 60613. The message furnished by the Chicago Cubs. One of the fellows you'll read about in there is Ray Burris, who winds, delivers, and out swings and lines one knee high to Trillo at second base, one away. The homer came in the third with the bases empty, 2 away off the bat of Parker. His 68th career home run. Fernando Gonzalez twice today has struck out against Ray. Once looking. Right-hander. And he's been guilty of an error. The only one of the ball game. Ray's first pitch. Outside. Ball 1 to the right-hander. That's the shadow across the plate now. And on the first base side of the infield and about a third away down the third baseline. Puts a little extra on that one. Pumps one in for a strike call. Away at the knees. And Gonzalez not happy with Colosi's call on that one. One away. Nobody on. Wind up. Curve into the dirt. Comes away from Dave Rader over to the Pirates dugout on the first base side. Mets battling back, picked up another run in the 5th inning, but they are still trailing Montreal 3-1 in the 6th at New York. We'll be in there Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday afternoons to take on the Mets before getting back to beautiful Wrigley Field next Friday against these Pirates. Here's the pitch. Gonzalez checks, he swung. Burris just missed with the breaking ball away. Ott is one of many players of recent years who defies tradition by wearing uniform number 13. Here's the delivery. Fastball. He lost it. That's the 5th Rays ground balls that Rays given up today. And Buckner walking over to the mound. He is sure that they have their strategy straight on what they're going to do in this situation. The pitcher, Bert Blyleven, stepping in. End of 8 innings at Cincinnati. It is still the Reds 2 and Houston 1. We've had no pitching change reported yet. And Harn Norman going in that one. Throw to first. Gonzalez goes in on 1 knee. George Foster a homer, his 2nd of the year. Here's the stretch. Let's see if he's going to bunt. Squares away, pushes one to the first base side. Buckner charges, clubs it, throws to second. Into the dirt, gets the left stage. The runner gets up before the first base. Throws way out the ball, gets the left field run, it's going to score. It's going to go all the way to the fence, and here comes Blyleven P waving around. He's going to try to score. He hastens for a relay throw way off. He scores standing. On a bunt, 2-run score. We've seen some wild ones, but that is the first time I can
getting into the dirt. It got by to Jesus. I thought for a moment that Gross was going to be able to receive it, but it rolled by him on that billiard ball or billiard table-like surface. And before you notice the sacrifice, an error, and 2 runs score. How do you top that one? You can't top it. I don't think I've ever seen that, and you perhaps won't see it again in baseball. And that's your AstroTurf. And if that is baseball, you can have your AstroTurf. That ball, it is or isn't baseball. I don't know how that ball could get between Gross and Kingman, but it did. On a throw from a first baseman. Just unwritten. The Cubs asked for the appeal. Runner missing third base, and they lose that. The score 3-0 Pittsburgh. One of the most bizarre plays you will ever see. I did not make it up. Now the windup. There's a swing and a miss on a pitch down and away to Frankie Taveras. That's got to go in the record book. Sacrifice. Throwing error, and the ball wound up against the wall in deep left center field. A swing and a miss. Bouncing into the dirt, getting away from De Jesus. I thought Gross was going to be able to get to it, and I think Greg thought he'd be able to get to it. Somehow it eluded him. Before it could be run down, way out against the outfield fence. Blyleven is able to score. He's the batter on his sacrifice. Wind up the 1-2 pitch. He takes a swing. It's a little pop-up going out toward his trio, and he grabs it on the carpet. 2 gone. A little while to get over that one, I guarantee you. Moreno, the hitter, the left-hander, has walked once today. He slaps the ground ball this time. Trio in and to his right, clubs it, throws to first. Side is retired. A wild series of events. With one away, a walk, a sacrifice by the pitcher, a throwing error by Buckner, 2 runs, score on it, no hits in the inning. Here you had a case of the pitcher, Ray Burris, has allowed 1 hit here today. And at the end of 7 innings of play, he and the Cubs are losing 3-0. If shadows and glare in your home, you probably aren't seeing things in the right light. So True Value Hardware stores suggest you use General Electric Soft White bulbs. GE Soft White have a milky coating inside that softens the light and reduces glare and shadow. They put everything in a better light. And because there are fewer shadows and less glare, soft whites are easier on your eyes. Get GE Soft White bulbs in 60, 75, and 100-watt sizes at participating True Value Hardware stores.
Good morning. I'd like to try the breakfast with the hash brown, please.
Oh, McDonald's scrambled eggs and sausage and hash brown breakfast with an English muffin.
What's the name of it?
We didn't have a name.
You need Punchy here. You need name Punchy quick.
Oh, you mean like egg?
Mario Mendoza has now come in to play third base for the Pirates, and Larry Bittner is going to lead off this 8th inning for the Cubs as a pinch hitter for Ray Burris. Before he does, and while Blyleven is still warming up, let's pause for station identification. This is the WGN Chicago Cubs Baseball Network.
The Mike Pyle Show, Sunday at 4 on WGN Radio, Chicago.
I can't even pronounce the word. That's horrible. I shouldn't say it's horrible. I guess it's even for one as the other. But when you can score 2 runs on a sacrifice bunt in an error, you almost have to visualize that he's got to throw the ball away someplace in the stand.
Larry Bittner's first trip to the plate in this season. Let's see if it'll be an auspicious one. He swings and fouls that pitch out of play and loses his batting helmet in the process. Well, Blyleven, born in the Netherlands. Bittner, of course, born in this country, but he comes of Dutch stock. Dutchman against Dutchman before this crowd of 9,387 fades. 9,387 fades. Wind up the pitch. checks he swing. The ball broke a little bit low. I think they asked for the appeal denied on the check swing. Ball 1, strike 1. Yesterday, they had a good turnout here of 39,000 plus. Today, 9,387. 1-1 delivery. Strike call. Frank Jackson is throwing in the Pirates bullpen. The left-hander has been joined out there by the blade. Kent Jacoby, a right-hander. 1-2 pitch coming up. Pitcher takes high fastball. Willie Hernandez, southpaw throwing in the Cub bullpen. Pirates with 1 hit lead 3-0. Each team has been guilty of 1 error. 2-2 delivery, stepped into it, swings, close one down the right field line. It's going to be in there for a base hit. Stargell hurrying over, or Parker rather hurrying over to cut it off, as Victor stepped into the pitch and pulls a single to right. That's a pinch batter.
It's going to be interesting to see how far Tanner will go with Blyleven, because that was like an inside the park home run for him. He had to circle of bases, so yeah, in the first start here, he should become tired. Maybe I'm hoping.
He's going hard. Well, I'll join in the hope. Cubs out-hit him yesterday, 7-3, only to wind up losing 1-0. Now they have 5 hits to the Pirates' 1, and Ivan De Jesus, who has one of those hits, swings, and there's a base hit in the left center field. Victor stops at second base. Reno getting the throw in a hurry. Ivan yesterday, 3 for 4, and today he's 2 for 4. That was a line single. With hit number 6 for the Cubs, they have the tying run at the plate in the person of Greg Gross, who is 1 for 3 today. That's going to be off for Blyleven. He's going to point to Jackson in the bullpen as Tanner comes out of the dugout, and he's not going to have anybody talking out of this one, is he?
No, he isn't. That's the way to do it before you get to the mound. Call that man in.
That's Blyleven in the batting, and Blyleven is getting a standing ovation from the crowd, and well deserved, and he's off that pirate cap acknowledging that tribute. His first National League start, and he has a beauty. As he departs here in the 8th inning with runners at first and second, nobody out. Pittsburgh leading 3-0. While the veteran Jackson stalks in from the bullpen, gets ready to warm up. We have a delay. Let's take time out for this message. Frank Jackson. Seems like he's been around for day 1. Remarkable guy. A good pitcher. One final is so far this afternoon in the National League. Cincinnati held on to defeat Houston 2-1. Freddie Dorman, before a crowd of nearly 18,000, at Cincy hits the victory over Honda High, and George Foster, the lone home run of the ball game. Jackson is going to be 36 on his next birthday. Pirates last year, he was 5-3 in 49 games. Earned run average for the veteran left-hander last year, 3.86, and he makes his home just outside of Pittsburgh now. Getting in his warm-up tosses. And while Gross is scheduled to bat in this spot, Gene Kleins, who started yesterday's game against the left-hander, John Candelaria, is going to pinch hit for Gross against this southpaw. Cubs with 6 hits, the Pirates with 1, but the score is Pittsburgh 3 and the Cubs nothing. We're in the 8th. Stretch Jackson's first pitch. Fastball is high. Ball 1, Gene. 1 out, a walk, a sacrifice by the pitcher. Buckner charging, picked up the ball. Here's the delivery. Swinging out of it. Another fastball. Drew it off target at second base. It's got by De Jesus. It's got by Gross and Kingman in the outfield. And Blyleven in the sacrifice was able to score behind the man who was on with the walk in front of him. 1-1 delivery. Check swing. It hits his bat. Goes foul back out of play. Ball would have been high, I think, had he been able to get his bat out of the way.
attend at Bowling Green University. 2-2 delivery to Klein. Waits on it, pops it up. Stennett under, and he grabs it on the carpet on the right side of the infield. 2 gone. Fooled him completely with that one, didn't he? Yes, he did. That was a great let-up. After just missing with 2 fastballs, of course, the hitter gets the timing of that fastball. And you've got to credit the catcher also with calling that particular pitch. Because the Klein was way out in front of the ball. He was spent when the bat came around and couldn't move the ball anyplace.
He's been lucky he missed it on the first swing. He might have gotten it on the second.
Yeah, probably hit it harder, too.
Yeah. Here's Buckner. Here's the swing and a drive in the right field. Marks coming over. Malfitano waving the runner into the plate. Here's the throw by Buckner. They let it through. He slides. He scores. The first run of the 1978 season by the Chicago Cubs, tallied by Larry Bittner and brought in by Bill Buckner. It is now Pittsburgh 3 and the Cubs 1. Good, solid line single off the bat of Buckner, his second hit of the day.
Now, a long ball right here would change the game completely.
At second base is DeJesus. Buckner on at first, and Bobby Murcer the batter. Tying runs on base with 1 away. Jackson delivers. Fastball. Taken for a strike right at the belt. Cubs now with 7 hits, the same as they had yesterday. The run, of course, charged against Blyleven. A delivery swung on, and he pulls a ground ball. Hits by Stargell, goes into right field. Here comes DeJesus streaking for the plate. Parker will concede that one. Cocked his arm. Now he runs the ball in. Finally tosses it into second base, where Buckner is standing. It is 3-2 Pittsburgh. And once more, Chuck Tanner comes out of that Pirate dugout. That is hit number 8 for the Cubs today. Grant Jackson, after getting Klein to pop up, has yielded run-scoring singles to both Buckner and Murcer, and those two have batted in their first runs of the 1978 season. That'll be all for the veteran Grant Jackson. While we wait for the new Pirate pitcher to come out, we are in the 8th inning, still only 1 out, tying run in scoring position, lead run Murcer at first. Let's take time out for this message.
Hello, honey, I'm home. What's for dinner?
Nothing.
What's for dessert? I never give up.
I don't want to set one foot in this
kitchen.
Don't use that word.
The appliance room? Stove place?
Kitchen will do.
Tell you what we're going to do.
What?
We're going to go to McDonald's and get you a sundae.
Honey, this is the sweetest thing.
Let us Sunday round out your meal at McDonald's.
Big Mac, fries, whatever. We used to do this more often.
Hey, you're right.
Let's fill the kitchen.
Mr. Colby, who always wears those dark shades, good relief pitcher, is making his debut for this 1978 season, but he's been around a while, knows what he's doing. Tall and slender, very, very wiry in his build. I tell you, he is 6'4" and weighs 167. That gives you a pretty good picture what this native of Cincinnati looks like. He just recently celebrated his 31st birthday. Last year with the Pirates, Colby wound up with 10 wins, 1 loss, earned an average of just a shade over 3. Of course, he was not their number 1 reliever last year. That hero's mantle for the Pirates was worn so well by the fellow who's no longer with them, Rich Coffey, with a blazing fastball. Well, all Colby has to do is face Dave Kingman with the tying run at second base. The go-ahead run over at first. Buckner at second, Murcer at first. 1 away. Sidearm breaking ball swung on, and Kingman rolls a little foul into the Pirate dugout. Cubs in this inning, 4 base hits, 2 runs. The first of this young season. Marino way around to the left for Kingman. Playing in left field now is young Steve Bryant. Mendoza deep at third. Taveras at short. He's deep. The look at second by Jacoby. Sidearm curveball. He bails out, swings, and hits a foul ball back out of play. It's kind of a tough delivery, though, for a right-handed
Yes, yes, indeed. He comes from third base, and he's got a good fastball along with that curveball. You've got to just make up your mind to keep your body in that batter's box.
Tell that body to stay there, but sometimes it won't mind.
Most of the time it won't.
He's out in front of Kingman. 0-2. Here's the delivery.
Swung to it. Hey, there's one. It's hit high and deep. It's way out. Marino back to the fence. Holy mackerel.
Here's the throw in. The runner tags and goes to third. We tell you, when that left Kingman's bat, thought it was going to be way over that left center field wall, but it was caught just to the right of the 375-foot mark, right up against the pirate emblem. I guess that's symbolical, huh?
Boy, let me tell you. Just a little help is all we needed.
But we had the first one of the year. All right, Buckner over at third. Mercer holding at first, and here's Steve Ontiveros with 2 away in the 8th. Pirates with a 1-run lead, 3-2. Dolby from the stretch. Ontiveros picks the breaking ball low. Ball 1. Man, I'm so surprised that didn't go out of here.
Oh, I thought it was going when it left his bat.
A little wind blowing in. Does that do it? Right up against the pirate emblem at the left center field wall. Fastball. And he's low. Ball 2. All right, Steve-O. Let's get a hit. An extra base blow here to give the Cubs the lead for the first time. Pirates up front by 1. Jacoby working from behind. Ontiveros takes outside. Looks like he wants no part of it. Missed low with a breaking ball and a fastball, and he threw this one way outside. Ball 3. Manny Trillo due up next. Jacoby ready. Kicks, delivers. Ontiveros on 3-0. Looks at strike. Ball 4 too low. Ed Ott rubbling a little bit on that call. The bases are loaded. That is the first walk to a Cub batter today. Bobby Murcer advances to second base, and Manny Trillo, who had the best batting average of any of the Cubs last year against the Pirates. He had 375 against this ball club last season. Stepped in. He has not been able to get the ball out of the infield in 3 trips today. Here's the pitch, and Trillo takes slider outside, ball 1. Covey in a bit of a jam. The crowd understandably nervous. Right-hander is ready. Kicks, delivers. Trillo takes ball low. 2-0. He missed on 4 pitches to Steve Ontiveros. Now, what do you think that conversation about Lou and Malpatano talking to Trillo?
Well, it depended on what the sign Herman Franks gave Malpatano. If it's a hit sign, Malpatano will go up to tell Trillo to be sure that it's above the knees and get a strike. Don't give to Kelby anything. You look for 1 pitch and hit. If Herman Franks wants him to take, then he'll maneuver around in that batter's box to try to make the count 3-0.
Now we're ready. Jacoby's 2-0 pitch. Low and inside. Ball 3, no strike. With the bases loaded, 2 out of the 8th inning. Pittsburgh with a 1-run lead, 3-2. See if he'll be taking gear on 3-0. Jacoby kicks by, and he takes ball 4. The tying run is forced across the plate on a bases loaded walk to Manny Trillo, who is credited with his first run batted into the season. And Cup Tanner again comes out of that dugout, and he is calling his catcher Ed Ott out to the mound with him, pointing down to the bullpen. That a right-hander, looks like Jim Bibby, and a left-hander throwing down there, and he is going to go to his 4th pitcher of the ball game. His 4th in this inning. The Cubs still have the bases loaded. Buckner has tallied the tying run. Mercer over at third. Steve Ontiveros is on at second. off for this message.
General Finance, friendly Bob Adams.
Danny Breen here, Bob. I'm calling from the Clam and Yam restaurant.
What's all the commotion?
Oh, well, my mother-in-law's a dead ringer for a movie star, Bob.
Really?
Yeah, everywhere we go, people start screaming.
Must be an amazing resemblance. Who does she
Last
look like?
night, some guy tried to put his hairy paws on her.
Oh, boy, who did
So,
she...
Bob, can I get a medical loan?
Who, she got hurt?
No, Mom agreed to some minor cosmetic surgery just to change her look.
Well, I'm sure we can arrange a medical loan, but,
Maybe she'll come out looking like Raquel or Farrah, or I'd even settle for Lassie.
Which movie star does she look like?
Did you ever see the movie King Kong?
I'll get started in that loan, Dan.
Thanks, Bob.
You can always get a little help
Get off the piano.
from a friend at General Finance.
There are 70 General Finance Chicago area offices. Call General Finance's friendly Bob Adams to borrow up to $10,000. Call Hanover 32020. Also, an office in Joliet.
Will McEnany had one great season with the Cincinnati Reds. Come on their way to a championship. Became a little bit disgruntled. And since that time, he has grown a very lush beard. A left-handed reliever has come on. And Haiti Cruz still has a brother playing in the National League with the Houston Astros. Came to bat yesterday. Got on top of a ball. He hit a drive that for a moment looked like it was going to carry over the wall, but it hit against the wall for a double with the pinch hitter. And he is going to bat as a pinch hitter for Dave Rader against this left-hander. Ball game is tied. Wind up McEnany's fastball, and he misses high and away for ball one. The Cubby retired Kingman on a deep drive to the wall. Then he walked on Taveras to load him up, and he walked Trillo to force in the tying run. 1-0 pitch. Way outside. Ball two. Bearded McEnany. Behind on pinch hitter Haiti Cruz. Now with the game tied up, Herman Franks may give her Cruz the green light on this one. Here's the windup. 2-0 pitch. Dicked and it's called a strike on the outside corner, and it was close. Haiti stepped away for a moment. Now he's back in, deep in the batter's box. Two gone, bases jammed. Now Cruz calls for time, steps out of the batter's box, takes a practice cut. Now he's back in. White batting gloves in both hands. McEnany looks at Murcer at third, winds. Here's a pitch. Swung on, he gets under it, lets a high pop up to the catcher, Ed Ott in foul territory. He's under it, waiting. Reaches up, grabs him, side is free fire. 9 Cubs come to the plate at the 8th inning. 3 runs scored. 4 base hits. 2 walks and 3 men left in the bases. As the Pirates come to bat, bottom of the 8th inning. Score is tied 3-3. Right now is the time to test drive a 78 Cutlass. Why? Well, because right now, with over 4,000 available in Chicagoland, you can choose the color and options you want with immediate delivery at your Chicagoland Oldsmobile dealer. When you test drive the 78 Cutlass, you'll discover how the new, similar size makes for smooth riding, easier handling. And inside, you can feel the comfort and enjoy the space because there's more headroom and legroom than ever. Visit your Chicagoland Oldsmobile dealer today. Test drive the 78 Cutlass. You'll discover what a pleasure it is. Chicago Cubs, the new pitcher, Willie Hernandez, new catcher, Larry Cox, the new left fielder, Larry Bittner, the new center fielder, Gene Klein. Omar Moreno, Dave Parker, and Steve Fry, the scheduled hitters here for the Pittsburgh Pirates against Willie Hernandez, as our ball game now moves into the bottom of the 8th inning.
Buckner struck out Parker, got the other two on a ground ball and a fly ball. So this is Willie's second relief appearance of this young season. Another final in the National League at Atlanta. The Dodgers behind Tommy John and Terry Forster came on a relief. Defeated Atlanta 6-2. Bruce been the loser before a pretty good house of over 11,000 at Atlanta. They had a big draw yesterday. I told you Cincinnati defeated Houston 2-1 today. Norman over Andahar. Montreal leads the New York Mets 5-2 at the end of 6 innings of play. Boston leading the White Sox 7th inning 5-2 in Chicago. Here's Marino stepping in. Left-hander against left-hander. I'm sorry. What am I doing? Dave Parker. Swinging, getting under it. There's a high foul that's going to be out of play. They have one hit so far today. It came off the bat of Parker back in the 3rd inning. A homer over the right field wall. That's it. Parker looks like he was trying for that same shot with that swing. Willie Wine, Jennifer. Swing out of it. Up one that dipped down sharply. Parker went right over it with that big bat. To neither starting pitcher, Blyleven nor Burris is accountable for the decision here today. Up to the bullpen. There's a swing and a miss. Got him. Hernandez, who was coming on very well in spring training after getting over that stiffness in the shoulder that is reflected in winter league ball. Very, very sharp, and he got Parker on 3 pitches. This is young Steve Fry making his first appearance. Family lives not too far away from here. They drove over yesterday, but he didn't get into the ball game. Imagine they're here today. He takes that first pitch way outside for a ball. Right-handed hitter, Steve Fry. Used to be with Milwaukee. Line straight away in center. Hernandez pitch swung on a miss, and he was late going after that one. Willie says that shoulder is not troubling him in the least anymore. Hope that he'll be free of any problems physically throughout this season. And the same for Suter. 1-1 pitch. Into the dirt. Ball 2, strike 1 on Bryant. Willie Stargell, menacing looking as ever. Taking a practice cut in the on-deck circle in front of that Pirate dugout. He has to take a look at that ball that had gone. The ball. Oh, he went to his mouth, did he? Yeah. Inadvertently made the mistake of going to his mouth, and that ball is going to be thrown out of the ball game, and it's an automatic ball call. 3, ball 3, strike 1. See if Fry will be taking. Wind up the pitch. Fastball, he will, and it's outside for ball 4. The Pirates have the go-ahead run out at first base, and Willie Stargell, the batter, was one away. Hernandez may have been upset a little bit, Lou, by that call against him. It could be. This may be Hernandez's last hitter also, so we better retire him. Looking around, because I believe Suter's in the bullpen. Double play wouldn't hurt a thing. Stargell, the batter. Buckner, of course, holding Fry out at first base. Trillo well over to the right side against Willie. Checks his swing at the strike. Counter on the knees. Suter continuing to throw. Stretched by Willie. Looks squarely at the runner at first. Comes to the plate. Swing and a miss by Stargell. And he was fooled badly by that pitch. He steps out, takes a practice cut. Cubs 3, Pirates 3. Pittsburgh with 1 hit, the Cubs with 8. Okay, how can that be? It's true. Nothing no delivery. Strike 3 call. And Willie rumbles at Colosi as he stalks back to the dugout, still carrying that lumber. He looked at one that was in on him at the knee. 2 gone. Rennie Stennett to be the batter before this right-hander moved into the batter's box. Let's take a moment for station identification. This is the WGN Chicago Cubs Baseball Network.
Like File Show Sunday at 4 on WGN Radio Chicago.
Vince Lloyd and Lou Boudreau reporting from Three River Stadium at Pittsburgh, bottom of the 8th. Steve Rye, the runner at first base. Rennie Stennett in the batter's box was 0 for 3 against Ray Burris, who went 7 innings today. First pitch, swing out of it. Kept it down and away. Andy's not big of stature, but when he throws and he's in the groove, his ball moves a lot. There's a swing and a base hit over right second baseman dead. Flying way over to cut it off. Here's Fry going to the third, and he's being held up by Joe Lynette on a line drive single into right center field off the bat of Rennie Stennett. The Pirates with runners at first and third. They have their second hit of the ball game. Despite being out innings to 2, they have a chance to take the lead. Left-handed hitting, Ed Ott in the batter's box. His walk, slide to left, lined out to Trillo. Very powerfully built Ed Ott. Hernandez has his work cut out for him. Hernandez looks at first. Here's the pitch. Checks his swing. It's the strike call. Boy, got that pitch really moving, isn't it? Yes, he has. This is the best we've seen him with this curveball. He has his sign from Cox. Now doing the catching. Here's the pitch. Hot swing and a little blooper. Out is the Jesus. He's got it on the run in shallow center field on a check swing for a lightning instant. It looked as though Ed Ott may dump one out of the reach of everybody, but he lined to Jesus, getting a good break on it, raced down out into shallow center, hauled it in over the shoulder, and the Pirate threat in the 8th inning is ended. No runs, 1 hit, a walk. They leave 2 men stranded. The Cubs come to bat in the 9th inning at Pittsburgh. It is still tied 3-3.
Vacation package just to make it easy for you to come and visit us in Las Vegas. It's called Sahara Safari 78. It gives you Las Vegas at prices you didn't think existed anymore. Listen to some of what you can get for one low price. A gorgeous room to enjoy. The greatest superstars in show business to entertain you. Incredible food, complimentary cocktails, special golf rates, and more. 3 days and 2 nights at the fabulous Sahara. Sahara Safari 78. The whole package for just $59 per person, double occupancy. See your travel agent or call our toll-free number in the yellow pages and safari to our super hotel where the superstars shine just for you.
Now in the Congo showroom, Eddie Arnold and Skiles and Henderson. For dinner show, Buddy Hackett, Bert Convey at midnight. Who became a free agent. Going to be the new Pirate pitcher now as our tied-up ball game moves into the 9th inning. The Cubs, I'm sure, remember him, having opposed him in the past. Big, strong right-hander.
play left field. Stepping in for the second time against Bibby, a big right-hander. Bittner singled and scored in that 8th inning. First pitch. Swung on, fouls the fastball out of play. Stargell guards the line against Bittner. There was a time, Lou, when a first baseman would not play Bittner like that, would he?
That's right. But look at the third baseman also.
Yeah.
When you get in the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning, tied up ball game, you have to guard that line to prevent an extra base hit.
Bittner single hit into right field in that 8th inning. There's a fastball popped in for a strike at the knees. Skinner says he wants to use Bibby primarily as a relief pitcher, but he says he may occasionally start. Big fellow winds. Here's a pitch. Outside. He and Bittner, I think, were teammates up at Montreal a couple of seasons back. Bibby, prior to that, of course, was with the Cardinals. Fellow winds. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Outside and high. Ball to strike two. Gotten chilly down there. Most of the field is in shadow. With a cloud cover. Count of 2-2 on Larry Bittner. Here it comes. Swung on and a fly ball to Moreno, the center field. He's back there for it. Makes the catch and this one away into ninth. Now we've on to Jesus, who singled in that 8th inning, and he also scored. Came in on Bill Buckner's base hit. Pirate runs came in a crazy play. One out, man on as a result of a walk. Bibby's first pitch, a ball low. And then the pitcher, Blyleven, laid down a bunt. Buckner charged in from first base, made the pickup, tried for the force play at second. 1-0 pitch, swung on, fouled out of play. But Buckner's throw was into the dirt near second base. Got by to Jesus. Got by Gross, got by Kingman. It rolled all the way to that pale blue wall in left center field. And the man who had been on first with a walk, Kelly, and Blyleven, who laid down that sacrifice, also scored. Believe it or not, here's a swing and a high foul. It's going to be into the seats, down a fly to the right. That all occurred in a frantic few seconds in the 7th inning. And it gave Pittsburgh at that time a 3-1 lead. The Cubs, with 3 runs on 4 hits in the 8th, finally got on the board. We're now in the 9th, tied 3-3 with 1 away, bases empty, and a count of ball 1, strike 2, and the Cubs shortstop to Jesus. Bibby's delivery. Swung on and missed. He got him with a breaking ball down. So Bibby, in his first appearance in the league game, posts his first. In his first appearance in the league game, posts his first strikeout for the Pirates. And pinch hitter Gene Clines, who popped up against reliever Grant Jackson in the 8th inning, steps in. After pinch hitting for Gross, he stayed in to play center field. Gene was hitless yesterday in a starting role. Reliever Grant Jackson in the 8th inning steps in. After pinch hitting for Gross, he stayed in to play center field. Ian was hitless yesterday in a starting role. He takes, and there's a strike over the outside corner. Cubs with 8 hits. The Pirates have 2. One of them a homer by Parker. The game tied. Each team guilty of an error. Curveball and a swing and a ground ball to the second baseman Stennett. Takes a step to his right. He makes the pickup. The Cubs in the 9th inning go down in order. The Pirates come to bat. Bottom of the 9th at Pittsburgh. Still tied 3-3.
Hello, General Finance. Friendly Bob Adams speaking.
Bob, can you handle an emergency loan?
I think so.
I'll need a loan for moving expenses because I finally went and did it.
Who's this?
The guy they said wouldn't do it.
Who?
Steve Kelly. And you know what?
You did it.
Right. Went right in and said, boss, I've had it with these crazy working hours. And furthermore, I don't think much of my salary here either. Isn't that good what I said?
What happened, Mr. Kelly?
He fired me.
That's not good.
good.
Yeah, I got another job, though. That's not bad, is it?
No, that's good.
No, that's bad. It's in another state, Bob.
Oh, well, there's good and bad in everything, I guess.
You know, Bob, there's good and bad in everything, I guess.
I heard that somewhere.
So, about that emergency loan?
Well, you can always get a little help from a
I
friend.
want you to think about something, Bob.
Yes.
It's nice to know you can always get a little help from a friend at General Finance.
Over 70 General Finance offices in the Chicagoland area to borrow up to $10,000. Call 803-2020. Also an office in Kankakee. Willie Hernandez starting his second inning of relief work. Mario Mendoza came in to play third base in the eighth inning. It's to lead off, the right-hander. Got into the game for defensive purposes yesterday. He's making his first trip to the plate in the season. Little right-hander kind of crowds the plate. His good speed, zips the bat right at the knob. Hernandez winds. Mendoza pushes the butt on the first base side. Trio's there. He gets it. Quickly feeds an underhand toss to Buckner a few feet away. And Mendoza is out trying to reach on a butt pushed in the right side. Cubs were alert for that one. In the eighth inning, Blyleven left. Jackson came on. Jacoby came on. McEnany came on. Now their fifth pitcher today, Jim Bibby, stepping in. First pitch to him is a strike. Right-handed batter. Hernandez, fastball, a little bit low. It tails away from the right-handed hitter. He throws it like that. And he missed. Low and outside. One away, base is empty tonight. Fastball, he's late. Fouls it. Back up out of play. Ball one, strike two. On the pitcher, Bibby. In the on-deck circle, the shortstop and leadoff hitter, Frank Taveras. Cubs in the front, tied in the ninth. Curveball, twisted out of the way of that one. Came right at the big guy's belt. Ball two, strike two. 2 5 runs scoring on a walk, a sacrifice, and an error. 2-2 pitch. Just missed outside, and he is now gone to a full count on the pitcher. Don't lose him. Willie had wasted one. Now the southpaw delivers. There's a swing on a fastball. Bibby got a piece of it. He's still alive as he fouls it back out of play. Still leading in Chicago, 5-2. Burleson a homer in that ball game for the Red Sox. Baltimore hits Milwaukee with 3 in the first inning. There's the pitch very high. Holy mackerel. He has walked Jim Bibby after being out in front of him with a strike 2 count. That's the second walk that he's White Sox just hit Boston with 3 in the bottom of the 8th inning to tie it up to 5. We're tied at 3, but the Pirates and Jim Bibby on at first base. He's going to run for himself, and Frankie Taveras the batter. Homer Day over in Cleveland, Kansas City, and the Indians going at it. Now the pitch. Taveras is swing and a drive. Winds back into his left. He's there. Gene makes the catch, and Bibby gets on back to first base. It's a good rip at it. And 5 homers reported in that Kansas City-Cleveland game. Ott, McRae, Kansas City, Pruitt, Colby, Andy Thornton for the Indians. Thornton with a man on. McRae's with a man on. Texas leads the New York Yankees 1-0 in the third down in Texas. Here's Omar Moreno. 2 gone in the ninth. Takes Hernandez breaking ball low. Left-hander hitter. Ball 1. Cubs 3 runs, 8 hits. Pittsburgh 3 runs, 2 hits. Stretch the pitch. Jammed him with a fastball, and Moreno fouled it back into the seat. Ball 1, strike 1. Bruce Sitter in the bullpen.
Burris worked 7 innings. The only hit off Ray, a home run by Parker with 2 out of the 3rd, and the bases empty. They got a single in the 8th inning off Hernandez. 1-1 pitch. Locked in the right side. Buckner to his right, clubs it, turns, throws, look out. He is safe at first base. Frank Taveras says he's safe. I hope that Hernandez is okay. Blinding speed by Moreno. Instead of the ball game going into extra innings, they keep him alive. Parker swings, gets under that one, and he fouls it back out of play. It's 3:38 for the Pirates last year to lead the league. Well, up to Homer over the right field wall against Ray Burris. That lead held up. Got 2 runs, and a walk, and a bizarre sacrifice and error. And the Cubs got 3 runs in the 8th inning. One of them coming with a walk with the bases loaded. 0-1 pitch. Parker swing. Deep drive. Flies. Back into his flat. He's there. He's got it. Right on the warning track, about 390 feet away. And this ball game is going to go into extra innings. No runs. 1 hit, a walk. 2 men left in the bases. And at the end of 9 at Pittsburgh, it is still 3-3. Right now, True Value Hardware stores can help take the pain out of painting. With their 2-test 8-piece flat pad painting set for just $4.97, it'll help make your next painting job easier because it includes almost everything you need. The set contains a 6x4-inch handle, 2 reusable 6x4-inch painting pads for fast, smooth paint coverage without messy spatters. You also get a set of guide wheels for fast, straight trimming along ceilings, in corners, around trim, plus a mini pad and handle for trimming in small areas, a 7-inch sturdy metal paint tray, and more. The True Test 8-piece flat pad painting set from True Value Hardware stores can make indoor and outdoor painting jobs a lot easier. Get it for just $4.97 at participating True Value Hardware stores and home centers. Draw here with him. We hope you're enjoying this ball game. The Cubs now with a chance to win it. Took a long time to get into an extra inning ball game. Yeah, it did. We might go about 18 too. All right. Well, come on in. Let's get another couple of runs here, right? I hope so. Bibby will face Bill Buckner now. The top of the 10th inning. Bibby, right-handed. First pitch by the right-hander is low inside, ball 1. The first extra inning game of the season for the Cubs. 3-3. The pitch by Bibby, high outside ball. White Sox scored 4 runs in the 8th inning to take the lead over the Boston Red Sox 6-5. Buckner swings at the ground ball to shortstop. He charges. Taveras has it. Fires to Stargell in time for the out. Buckner grounds out to Taveras. 1 out. Bobby Murcer, the hitter. Murcer singled to drive
drive in his first RBI of the 78 season in the 8th inning when the Cubs came up with a 3-run rally. Now this is his first time against Bibby. All right-hander. First pitch on the way. Popped up. Short left field. Shortstop Taveras going back. Fire. The outfielder comes in, runs him off the ball, and takes it for the out. Ryer taking that pop-up off Mercer's bat. 2 outs now. And now Rudy Mioli is going to pinch hit. Rudy Mioli, used cheaply as a pinch runner by Herman Frank. He played, of course, a few innings, spring training. So Mioli will bat for Hernandez. No action in the Cubs bullpen, but I imagine Bruce Sutter, who has been warming up the last 2 innings, will be ready for the bottom of this inning. It's in the 10th. Mioli, close stance, left-handed hitter, very fast. Takes the first pitch inside, ball 1. Ontiveros 2 up next. Cubs 3, Pirates 3. The pitch by Bibby. Outside and high, ball 2. Mioli looks down at Joey at third base, gets a sign. 2-0 pitch on its way. Fastball swing, a fly ball deep into center field. Moreno going back. He's there. He does it one-handed for the out. Mioli hit the ball well. The right to center fielder for the out. In the 10th inning, no runs, no hits. Nobody left on base for the Cubs. Pittsburgh comes to bat in the 10th inning and will face the new Cub pitcher, Bruce Sutter, with the score tied, Cubs 3, Pirates 3.
Highland's Old Style, the legendary beer from God's country, is a beer brewed with sparkling, pure Wisconsin spring water in a traditional old-world way of pure brewing, double brewing, called poisoning. Poisoning is the most natural way to brew beer and the most expensive. Most expensive because it takes more time. Heileman's Old Style is one American premium beer that's fully poisoned, naturally carbonated. Poisoning is what makes Old Style a great light beer. Try Old Style and taste the difference poisoning makes. Old Style, pure brewed in God's country. Highland Brewing Company, La Crosse, Wisconsin.
Left fielder Fry will lead off the 10th, followed by Willie Stargell and then Stennett. Fry, right-handed hitter. Sutter's first pitch. High, ball 1. Tremendous pitching here by the Cubs in these first 2 ball games. The pitch. There's a strike call. Cubs were scoreless for 16 straight innings. And then came up with 3 runs in the 8th inning today to tie up this ball game. Swing and a tap foul. 1 ball, strike 2. Bruce Sutter on the mound. Cubs, of course, guarding the foul lines here. They do not want an extra base hit. 1-2 pitch. Swing a line drive, base hit. Over onto Barris's head, down the left field line. Pitcher has it. Fires it. Flies, going for 2. Here's the throw. He slides. He's safe. There's speed on the base pass. That was a line drive over onto Barris's head. Pitcher quickly came to that foul line. And as a left-hander, he has to turn. And only that turn enabled that speedster to slide in safely. Pitcher's throw to Trillo was on target. But the stride beat the tag. young outfielder who was put in defensively late in the ball game by Tanner. And now, with Stargell at bat, he's going to be issued a base on ball. Ball one, ball two. Stennett will be the hitter. Ball three. So Tanner has the option of letting Stennett hit away or laying down a sacrifice. Then, of course, that would bring Ott at bat, and then Herman Franks would have to have the option of pitching to Ott with men on second and third, or putting him on base to load them up with one out to pitch to Mendoza. So a manager has to think 2-3 hitters ahead in a situation like this, where one run means the ball game for the home team when you're tied up, as we are, 3-3 in the 10th inning. Nobody out. Fry at second. Stargell at first. Stennett the hitter. Now let's see what defensive formation that the Cubs will put in use right here. The stretch by Suter. Time is called as somebody fired an orange down on the field, and I think it hit Colosi. It did. Vincent, it hit Colosi. I was watching the stretch of Suter because in this situation you don't want to balk. But Colosi was hit by an orange. That is absolutely horrible. Terrible.
Pirate players on the dugout looking up to see where it might have come from.
That is so stupid. What can anybody be thinking if they are thinking of doing that in a particular spot? The Pirates ball players are out looking up into the upper deck. I did not see it until it was moment after it hit and caromed off of Colosi.
I don't know where it came from directly, but it was here like it. I see back of us a little bit to our right. I would think it would have to be drawn from that upper deck. I don't know how else anybody could get it down there. Why in the world a fan would be so stupid? All of stuff like that. I hope that somebody around him will report him. I do too. Security people. Like the same Footman Slammer.
Well, this caused a little delay, of course, but that's not important. The important thing is that Colosi wasn't hurt. And could have been very easily. Now, Tanner wants time for something. He's going to put in a pitch runner. I believe so. Yes, I think he is, Ed.
Oh, yeah.
He's looking into the dugout. Stargell is on first base. Well, Colosi says there's a runner, but nobody's come out of the dugout yet. Now it's Robinson is going to run for Stargell. Now you may say, well, why run for Stargell when the winning run is on second? But Tanner does not want a force out or a double play in this situation. And he was so keyed up yesterday on the play that Robinson went into second base and took DeJesus out of the play that enabled the Pirates to win the ball game, to score the one run. Here's the pitch down to Stennett. He's going to swing. He does. Pops it up. Right field line. Murcer there. He's going to make the catch. He does. Throw to third is cut off as Bryant goes back to second. So Stennett was swinging away and pops out to Murcer in right. I'm a little surprised.
I thought he might have him try to lay a bunt down.
Usually, that is the maneuver you are looking for in a situation like that. Although he didn't want to lose Ott back with a base on balls if the sacrifice was successful and pitch to Mendoza, although he's very fast. And anything could have happened. A squeeze, wild pitch. First pitch to Ott, ball one. 3-3 ball game. Pirates have runners on first and second. One out. The pitch. Into the dirt. Ball two. fast on second base. Now Suter has his side. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss on that split finger curveball. 2-1 the count. Mendoza will follow Ott. Unless Ott hits into a double play. That's a happy thought. Yes, it is. The pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. 2-2 the count. Keep it working, Bruce. Bruce Suter in the jam. But he's used to it. Whether it's strawberry or any other type of jam. Stop that. It's getting hungry. It's getting late. The 2-2 pitch on its way to Ott. Low into the dirt. Blocked nicely by Cott. Let me tell you, he stayed right in front of that ball. And it landed about 2 feet in front of the plate. And now it's a full count. Will they be running? 3-2, 1 out. Ott, left-handed hitter. Suter leans in, gets his sign. Checks the dirt. Here's the pitch. Into the dirt. Ball 4. The bases are loaded. For the Pirates with 1 out. In this situation, we're going to have to tell you that this is the WGN, Chicago Cubs Baseball Network.
WGN Radio, Chicago.
The veteran, right-handed, hitting Ragosi, is going to pinch hit for Mendoza. So Tanner going with the veteran here to see what he can do against Bruce Suter. The infield is in, the outfield is in. We cannot allow a run. 1 out, bases loaded. We're in the bottom of the 10th inning. A 3-3 ball game. Suter will not take his windup. He's into the stretch. Here's the pitch. It's low inside, ball 1. Ragosi will make him get it in the strike zone. Suter set. The ball 1 pitch to Ragosi. Low, ball 2. No strike. Right-handed hitter. Now, would you let him swing away, or would you have him take? The pitch is on its way. Ragosi takes a strike. The ball popped out of Cox's glove, but he grabbed it quickly. Ball 2, strike 1. Cubs 3, Pirates 3, 10th inning. Outfield very shallow. Infielders in close. The stretch by Suter. The ball 2, strike 1 pitch. It's low. Ball 3. Is the count. This becomes the most important pitch of this ball game. The pitch is on its way. It's high. Ball 4. It's in the winning run. Ragosi touches first, and Pryor touches home plate. The Pirates beat the Cubs in 10 innings on a bases loaded walk to Ragosi 4-3. We'll be right back after this message.
Hello, honey, I'm home. What's for dinner?
Nothing.
What's for dessert? I never give up.
I don't want to set one foot in this kitchen. Don't use that word.
The appliance room? Stove place?
Kitchen will do.
Tell you what we're going to do.
What?
We're going to go to McDonald's and get you a sundae.
Honey, this is sweet.
Let a Sunday round out your meal at McDonald's.
Big Mac, fries, whatever you want.
I need a treat.
Dinner and no
Smile.
Oh, you're going to take my picture?
No, I'm going to take your sundae.
Oh, McDonald's Sunday. Delicious vanilla swirls covered with your favorite topping.
And for dessert, we'd each like a sundae. Honey, you want hot fudge, hot caramel, or strawberry?
Yep.
What?
Thank you.
Which?
One of these.
She didn't mean that. You know, I love it when you don't cook.
He didn't mean that.
Sunday makes your whole meal shine. That great Sunday in a Sunday cup.
McDonald's does have Sundays.
In the mouth, in the mouth, in the bottom of McDonald's Sunday.
Virginia.
The plate on bases on balls when the bases were loaded. The first one enabled the Cubs to tie it up. That was issued to Manny Trillo when they scored their third run of that inning back in the eighth. And now a walk by Suter with the bases loaded to Jim Fregosi. He was there with all the confidence in the world. That forced in young Steve Fry, who would open up the 10th inning with a double. The Pirates, 4 runs, 4 hits, 1 error, leave 12 men stranded. The Cubs, 3 runs, 8 hits, 1 error, leave 8 men on. The victory goes to Jim Bibby in relief, and Bruce Sutter is tagged with the loss. 2 hours and 44 minutes. Bases on ball.
Oh, they'll put you in the hospital, I'll tell you. You would never expect it from our relief ace, Sutter, but it happened. That's baseball. But Vince, the play that I will see perhaps all night for the next couple of weeks is the sacrifice by Blyleven with a man on first base. And Buckner trying to force that runner at second base with the score 1-0 against the Cubs. Throws the ball into the dirt. It bounces past to Jesus, and by the time the ball is retrieved, it goes to the warning track and near the wall, and the bunt results in an inside-the-park run that scored the man that he was trying to sacrifice. Those 2 runs actually were the ball game.
Yeah, and that was certainly incredible. McDonald to Jim Fregosi sent the bat a couple of times last year in that same situation. The bases loaded in a tied-up ball game. And on 2 occasions last year, the veteran Fregosi drew a base on balls to force in a winning run, just as he did here today. But of course, he's got a good eye.
Yes,
and he's a veteran.
And when you said confident, there was no doubt that he had that strike zone well prepared in watching Suter and knowing Suter over the last year or 2 that he was with Pittsburgh. And he didn't fake any half swings like normal hitters would do. So maybe he's not normal.
Yes.
He's up there to get a base on ball.
Jim Fregosi winds up driving in the winning run without moving the bat off his shoulder. Well, let's see if we can't salvage 1 game from this series here tomorrow afternoon. Our broadcast on the network gets started tomorrow at 12:30, and WGN will be on at 12:15. Pirates are winner today, 4-3. Well, they've taken the first 2 games of the series, each by 1 run, and we'll be back in a moment with a word about tomorrow afternoon's finale of this series. Our broadcast here today brought to us by the G. Heilman Brewing Company from La Crosse, Wisconsin, makers of Old Style, the pure brewed beer from God's Country, the Association of Chicagoland, McDonald's Restaurant. Have breakfast at McDonald's tomorrow. Your Chicagoland Gallantman of Olds, the place to test drive the new Olds Cutlass for 1978. General Finance's 70 Chicagoland offices. To borrow up to $10,000, call friendly Bob Adams at Andover 3-2020. True Value Hardware Stores. Not just a name, it's their way of doing business. True Value. Have the scoreboard coming up for you in just a few moments. Woody Fryman, who started his lengthy career in the major leagues with the Pittsburgh Pirates over at their old ballpark, is slated to start here tomorrow afternoon for the Cubs, and his mound opponent, the tough left-hander, Jerry Royce, for the Pirates. Hope you'll be able to join us then. Our broadcast today authorized under rights granted by the Chicago National League Ball Club, which has the right of approval of the announcers for this event. It is solely for the entertainment of our audience, and any publication, rebroadcast, or other use of the descriptions and accounts of the game without the express written consent of the Chicago National League Ball Club is prohibited. Vince Floyd and Lou Boudreau, sorry we couldn't bring you the first Cup victory of the year. They lose it in overtime, 4-3. This is the WGN Chicago Cubs Baseball Network.
This is WGN Radio in Chicago. Whether you're building your own home or remodeling your present one, you want to do the job with the best materials you can get, right? Well, that's where the Edward Hines Lumber Company comes in. You see, Hines owns their own plywood plant sawmills all across the country, so they control the quality of their lumber every step of the way, from start to finish. That's why Hines can bring you top-grade lumber and building supplies at prices you can afford. And it's for the same reason why most of Chicagoland's professional home builders shop at Hines, too, because they know quality when they see it. Hines, Chicago's largest lumber supplier, has been providing lumber and building materials for new homes for more than 85 years now. And because they're one of Chicago's oldest lumber suppliers, they know how to answer your needs better than anyone else in the city. These days, when quality products and sound professional advice are getting harder and harder to come by, it's nice to know you can get the right kind of help from the people at the Edward Hines Lumber Company. See Edward Hines Lumber Company in Evanston at 1613 Church Street.
With you at Brewer Stadium in Pittsburgh, and it's time now for the scoreboard brought to us by Continental Airlines. If you can't fly Continental, try to have a nice trip anyway, huh? It has not been a nice trip for the Cubs so far over here in Pittsburgh, but one of these days they're going to whip this ball club over here. Let's hope it's going to be tomorrow. In other action this afternoon at Cincinnati, the Reds, with George Foster hitting his second home run of the season, Freddie Norman pitching superbly. He gave up a run to the Houston Astros in the first inning and shut them out the rest of the way, and the Reds a winner by a score of 2-1. Freddie Norman over on the high before nearly 18,000 paid at Cincy. At Atlanta, a crowd of 11,265 saw the Dodgers defeat Atlanta 6-2. Tommy John, with relief help from Terry Forster, gets his first decision of this young season. Dick Bruce then the starting and losing pitcher for Atlanta. Gary Matthews a homer for the Braves, and Reggie Smith for the Dodgers. Smith's shot coming with a man on. The San Francisco Giants have jumped on San Diego's Bob Shirley, 4 runs in the second inning. Got another one in the third. Weirmeister is now pitching for the Padres, and the Giants at the end of 3 lead San Diego 5-0. The St. Louis Cardinals, who defeated Philadelphia yesterday, will be playing the Phillies tonight with young Erie Rasmussen scheduled to go for the Cardinals against Larry Christensen for the Philadelphia Phillies. Christensen, a right-hander, just missed the 20-game mark last year for the division champions when he posted 19 wins and lost only 6. Montreal playing at New York this afternoon at Shea Stadium. And the Mets have pulled to within a run on Lee Matzilli's 2-run homer in the 8th inning off Rudy May. Earlier in the ball game, young Steve Henderson homered for the Mets with the bases empty. It is now at the end of 8 innings of play. Montreal with a 5-4 lead over the New York Mets. I'll be back with more after this.
To Chicago for only $75. The flights are unscheduled, of course. So 2 months before you
fly our special Econo Night Used Super Standby Waitlist fare. Good only February 30th and 31st. And in September on weekends.
Yes, friend. We can save you 80%. Just make your reservations in the next 10 seconds and pick up your tickets by mail. Or come in to Company Anywhere for just $50.
Now, that provides you detainers, and you never know. You keep one part of the reservation, but
Continental Airlines has put an end to discount fare confusion.
If you can't fly Continental, you might as well not fly.
Continental's new chicken feed fares are unbeatable. They save you up to 40% off regular coach with no restrictions of any kind. But seats are limited, so call your travel agent or Continental Airlines now. Ask for the chicken feed fare. There's no lower fare from here to there.
Fares effective May 15th, subject to CAB approval.
In the American League this afternoon at Detroit, crowd of 12,400 plus saw Toronto's Blue Jays defeat the Tigers 5-2. John Mayberry homered for Toronto in the first inning. The Tigers tied it up with a run. But then later in the ball game, Ron LaFleur got his first of the season for the Tigers. And Hudson homered in the ninth inning with nobody on. His first of the year, of course. Garvin, the winning pitcher for Toronto over Slayton. 5-2 Toronto. Cleveland defeated the Kansas City Royals 8-5 at Cleveland. Garland, the winner over Dennis Leonard. Homers in that ball game. Potek in the second inning for Kansas City. McRae in the second with one on for KC. And for Cleveland, Pruitt, Paul Dade, and Andy Thornton. Thornton's shot coming with a man on. The Indians a winner 8-5. Texas Rangers tallied in the first inning over the New York Yankees, and they lead them 1-0 in the bottom of the fourth inning. Ron Guidry for the Yankees against John Matlack, the former great for the New York Mets, making his debut for Texas. Tonight, Seattle entertains the Minnesota Twins, and the California Angels host the Oakland A's tonight with Nolan Ryan, the 19-game winner last year for California, going against Keogh for Oakland. In Chicago today, the White Sox spotted the Boston Red Sox a 5-run lead. Picked up 2 of those 5 runs in the bottom of the 5th inning, and then wrested the lead away from Boston with 4 runs in the 8th. And they are leading 6-5 in Chicago in the 9th inning. Milwaukee saw Baltimore get 3 runs at the top of the first inning. But Milwaukee charged out of the dugout. They got 8 runs, 8 in the bottom of the first. Knocking out Martinez, Kerrigan pitching in relief in the first inning. Haas going for Milwaukee, 8-3 at the end of 1 inning of play. Larry Heisel hit a 3-run homer for Milwaukee. And Thomas hit a grand slam homer. Gorman Thomas, a grand slam home run for Milwaukee. They have only had 2 grand slammers so far this season. Sixto Lascano, their fine outfielder, got their first one yesterday, and now Gorman Thomas today. 2 grand slam homers in 2 days for the Milwaukee Brewers. That ought to make the folks up there pretty happy, huh? If it doesn't, they're awful hard to please. We've got some highlights of this game coming up in just a moment. But your local Z-Bart auto and truck rust-proofing dealer invites you to ask yourself this question. If automotive rust-proofing is so easy that every Tom, Dick, and Jones offers it as a sideline, why does Z-Bart, the national pioneer and leader in the field, specialize in rust-proofing? Well, the answer is obvious. Because complete and thorough rust-proofing is a complicated, highly skilled specialty requiring special tools and special training. Now, what's so special about the Z-Bart process? Everything. Z-Bart Rust Protection penetrates the place where most rust starts, the inner seams of your car. Z-Bart dealers get inside your new car's body and cover rust-prone metal, including the underside of your vehicle, with a unique sealant. Don't settle for less. Before you let a car dealer or local garage sell you a so-called rust-proofing job, visit one of the 26 Z-Bart dealers in the Chicagoland area and have him actually show you the difference. Remember, Z-Bart says it's us or rust. White Sox have made it 2 in a row over the Boston Red Sox. They came from behind yesterday with a 9th inning homer and then a bloop base hit that drove in the winning run. Today, they rallied for 2 in the 5th and 4 in the